tapped into the zeitgeist.
Yeah, no, yeah, honestly, yeah, because he was showing me his like, not Dom, but Omar was showing me his like the way he kind of structures his research for videos and stuff like that, and I'm trying to integrate more of that. Like he does like a Notion thing with all of the different bits and pieces, which is pretty good. So
interesting.
Yes. Let's see. Yeah. All right. Yeah, but I don't know what, like, is there a reason that is it a normal thing that, you know, post alcohol like hangover situation just causes like weird sort of diarrhea ish shits the next day? Is that that's the common thing? Okay, yeah. I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Twin.
They call
He's like, I know all too well.
Yeah, they call it the liquor shits.
The liquor shits. That makes sense. Yeah. Okay. That's God. That's a gross.
Outside of the donkey. I mean, what was you into last night or yesterday?
Nothing to get into.
Oh, excuse me. My apologies.
Oh, sorry. Just to clarify, we are currently live. So.
Oh yeah. I mean, I saw.
Okay, yeah.
I mean,
cool. I was just double checking. Yeah,
Mark, I saw that we was live.
Yeah, there you go.
I didn't give a brother a fair warning.
Yeah, my apologies. That's why. I apologize. What's good, Stinker?
Oh man.
Shaking.
I said, what up, though?
All
right. Has anyone checked out or tapped into Drake's The Iceman Cometh?
I think I saw one video where somebody edited it over top of the Fresh Prince beat. They said that he was rapping with that post slap Will Smith flow, and it did fit quite well and quite comically.
Oh damn! Did you save it? I would love to see that.
No, but I'll find it while you give your take on the album, since it sounds like you've given it a listen.
I mean, not in depth, bro. I listened to like maybe four, maybe like 5 songs off of The Iceman.
Not impressed.
Nothing, you know. I mean, it's a Drake album, you know.
Oh man, the cultural turn is fascinating to watch.
It really is, but I mean, the thing is, of course, like his fan base, I mean, like they're loving it. Like, oh yeah, man, don't come back on this side now. Don't come back over here now. Y'all was hating. Y'all was
and everybody was like, "No, we're good. We don't. Thank you." Let's see.
Smoke ain't nothing but some shit I wrote about a rich ass nigga that's deep in the game. They call me Drizzy Drake and I'm keeping the name. I sport Nike shoes, I got a mic to use to talk bad about you pussies. I don't like you fools. Got an Oakland show tonight, baby. My young boys from the yacht going crazy. I'm on a bridge with a tank unleaded. I pull up early to that bitch. That bitch rejected already. I say,
a little good
in the city and I really got rank. You see the back to the front, you getting spanked. I really blow hands for the fun of it. New out, blue diamonds on the front of it. Shot my little cousin, missed having none of it. Trying to campaign, yeah, Drizzy bad running shit. Raw, living large, yeah. And I put that on seats in a boulevard.
So that's that.
Yo, that shit was
right. I was like, it was good. I mean, that kind of good. It was like you good.
I'm pretty sure they had to change his audio to make that fit. Like, I still think it's a bot, but it's not like Drake is rapping the same way he's been rapping since album 3 on this. Like, he hasn't changed his flow. So if you thought it was Will Smith post slap flow, now it was Will Smith slappy flow on, you know,
to begin with.
Nothing was the same. Like, he's been rapping the same way since that album.
I feel
like with that choppy, slow, speed up flow, which is why I'm fairly confident that they changed his audio to make it, because he's rapping his
whatever to make it. Yeah, because I don't know much about the, like, you know, music time, like, you know, 4/4 time or 6/8 time or whatever the fuck.
They changed the speed.
Oh, okay. Oh, you've heard it before. Okay, yeah.
No, I haven't heard it before, but like you can tell, like Ivan was saying, they adjusted the speed of his rap to make it like to make it be on beat.
They speed it up, maybe. Yeah, but yeah, he doesn't seem like he has changed his style in a while, because I always felt that was something that seemed like a strength of him being able to sort of appropriate different things. But it seems like for the last few albums, which I wonder if that's part of the downfall, that he hasn't done the chameleon, like, I'm just gonna rap like a British guy, I'm gonna rap like a motherfucker from Mississippi now, like, thing.
Yeah, I think his flow, to the point I just made, I think Drake has two flows. I think he has the October's very own, comeback season, early Drake flow from the early mixtape, early album days. And I think he has everything post that. I think where Drake chameleon was stuff, not in terms of his flow, it was his production, it was his singing, his melodies, and it was his accents. So like when he's rapping on the radar,
but it's still the same flow.
It's the exact same flow. He's just appropriating an accent. But when he does singing shit and his melodies, his hooks, I think that is where you see the appropriation of like cultural shit. Like when he was doing all the shit with like Gigs and Skepta, like the production is what made that feel a bit more UK and not necessarily his flow, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not that, I wouldn't fight that opinion one way or the other, because I'm not sure. Now I got to go back and listen to the catalog and see what I think, because I in my head I've got this idea that he, similar to like XXXTentacion, who I was also a big fan of, like that capacity to just, and Billy Joel, low key, that just the ability to just make shit that really don't even feel like it goes together in a catalog. But maybe I'm giving him more credit than is due.
I give him more than like two main flows. I'm also thinking about maybe I give him maybe like three different flows. I'm also thinking about some songs on the closest tape he has to like what would be considered a classic. If You're Reading This, Is Too Late.
Which in my opinion is his most complete work post so far gone. So yeah,
like that shit still a slap to this day.
Agreed. It aged extremely well.
Yeah, so
is that the one that, which album is Hotline Bling on? Is it that? Which one is that?
That was on Views. That was Views.
Is that before or after though? That one?
After, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it was after.
Yeah, Views. Okay. Which is 2016.
Because If You're Reading This, blah blah blah, might be too late. I think it came out right before Views.
Let's see, 2015. Yeah. Got you. Oh yeah, 2015, then followed by What a Time to Be Alive with Future.
Ooh, what a run.
Yeah, no, because I remember that specific period of like Diamonds Dancing and all of that, like and then Hotline Bling within like a year period, and it was a good time. It was a good time. Not gonna lie.
But I don't really, because the thing is, I'm still kind of surprised at how much his fan base, like his core fan base, has not alienated him or even like wavered at all. Because a numbers conversation, but I saw something like Drake broke another Spotify record, like it's the first record on Iceman, Make 'Em Hate You or something like that. I forget the name of that song, but whatever the first record is on that, like that one broke a streaming record like already or some shit like that, with like 13 million streams or something. But
I'm gonna listen to it.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say like the fall of Drake, even though even if you don't like Drake, like the left side don't fuck with Drake, they would love to say, oh yeah, he's failed, he's ruined, like the end of his career. But
I think it's like you can fall off from the top. Like when we were talking about Mike, it's like they were saying that like post post 22, like post 2000, like 3, Mike was still huge, but he wasn't Thriller Mike. So I feel like it's that. Like you're all, once you get to a certain level of height, you're gonna be big forever. Yeah. No matter what. Bringing back Billy Joel, that motherfucker, every time he goddamn goes on tour, it's a huge money making machine. Motherfuckers don't know him necessarily, like, or there's a group of people that are like, I didn't know he was in town. I don't know nothing about that. And I feel like that'll be what Drake is, as opposed to being the constant phenomenon at the top of the. I mean, yeah, I think we all know that.
I don't think Drake is there yet because I get what you're saying. Like the example that I always lean to because I just know the numbers is Usher, right? Like Confessions was a phenomenon. Like for our younger audience, I don't think you fully understand exactly how huge Confessions was. Confessions was like it. It's one of the most successful albums of all time. Huge. Usher's follow-up album, Here I Stand, so like, and this is before like the true wave of like people not really buying albums anymore.
Yeah,
still sold like 2-3 million, and that was a failure because of exactly how big Confessions was, right? Like an artist right now moving like 3 million like physical units, like pure sales units, is like, that's like Drake and Taylor Swift. But from that perspective, Drake to what Josh was talking about, I don't know if y'all are fully tracking on what this nigga's done. This nigga has like broken like every record with this shit like right now. Some of that is gamesmanship too, but like this shit is huge. Like from a pure numbers perspective, I don't necessarily think numbers always line up with influence, and I think influence is actually a better gauge of staying power with the culture than pure numbers. But this is not Mike Invincible Drake. This is not Jordan on the Wizards Drake. This is maybe, you know, the lull in between, you know, the 93 and the 96 championship. You know what I mean? Like this is still,
so he's still very, he hasn't fallen off into a very high plateau. He's still, you would say, you know, stratosphere huge.
Drake currently, if you look at his numbers, and if this holds even remotely true week over week, this is still the biggest artist in rap. This is still the closest thing that rap has. And you know, this looks more like Jay-Z losing to Nas than it looks like Ja Rule losing to 50 right now.
Okay,
different level.
Okay. Yeah,
I would definitely. I wholeheartedly agree. And that Mike Invincible comparison was hilarious because I immediately want to be like, hey, he still had butterflies on that album.
I love Invincible. You Rock My World is you know, I think a top 15 Michael individual track. You know, I love that shit. The video is awesome.
For sure.
Damn, y'all have. I'm always, because I feel like I have this from movies, but y'all's like musical historian bag is so much stronger than mine. Because I'm like, I've listened to these albums and I'm like, fuck, I don't have the track. Y'all got like track numbers, and this one came out before this one, and this one, which is very impressive. I got to get my game up.
Shoot, you know my memory is trash, so I'm grateful to have at least that much.
No, it's impressive. Because I'm like, I love these Drake albums, and I'm like, I don't know what the names of them were. I don't know which songs or which were on which thing. Yeah.
My thing with Drake, and I alluded to it, is that my favorite Drake stuff is when he goes back to his original flow, which is typically on the blank AM in city tracks recently, right? Like I think 1 AM in Albany is kind of sort of there for me in terms of his flow, because
great name for
because and like my favorite Drake track is like in that vein. I think was it 5 AM in Toronto is an amazing like sneak diss that I think kind of gets more so to his original flow. But Drake's original flow is closer to Cole's flow than it is to whatever the fuck he's doing now. It's very somebody peeped me on it at one point, but to the root of the him and Joe Budden beef, he raps kind of like Joe Budden, like original Drake.
Yeah. Well, okay. How far back are we going? Because
I'm saying so far gone comeback season.
How far? What? Yeah. Hold on.
So far gone. In
2009.
Yeah.
Okay.
So listen, like.
Oh, so that's what best I ever had. Because that's where I think
listen
maybe everybody became aware of him.
Yeah, so like listen to Best I Ever Had flow. Just that song, and then listen to anything. Listen to What Did I Miss? The flows are completely fucking different.
Okay. That they've changed. But we saying that Best I Ever Had is like that is a bit of a Joe Budden flow, or
yeah, that is the Joe Budden flow.
Yeah, okay.
Joe's even said that before.
Yeah. I think that's a part of their beef that he's like in his mind he's like, I made this nigga. He's like, you know.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because I mean, like before they got into like a beef, like you know, when Drake first popped up on the scene, he was a huge fan of everybody, always showed love, and like one of the people he was showing love to, like when Joe Budden was early on in like the streaming phase, doing content online, because he was like one of the first like rappers to do that. He had Drake on stream, and Drake was like, "Man, like you are such an inspiration. You're one of my favorite rappers." Da 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 da.
Yeah, and you right, and he always put him in that thing. It would be like Budden, Fonte, Dice Raw. Who else was he biting off of in that point? But I know them for sure.
Yeah,
because I was listening to like part. I didn't finish it, but I did try and go back to listen to FD's like whole Drake Kendrick thing, and he goes back in all his history and stuff, and there did seem to be this idea that Drake was just this, and I always thought of Drake as a super fan, and I thought of that as a positive thing, but it seemed like he just wanted everybody to like him, and nobody liked him. He was just like, I'm your biggest fan, and people were like, man, fuck you, like your shit is I don't know. As I was listening to FD's video, I was like, and this has happened for a couple of FD videos, because I know that FD is aiming at sort of a critical view of a particular person, but I'd be watching, I'd be like, now I feel sorry for this guy. I feel less mad at the guy than I did at the beginning. Same with the Tyler Perry video. I was like, by the time I got to the end of that, I was like, I hate Tyler Perry less than I did at the start of the video, which, you know, that's the nature of good journalism anyway. But
I wonder what FD would say to that. Like, I feel like that's interesting, because I feel like, I don't know if it's like I wouldn't say like his videos are like a hit piece, but it does. I guess like it's up to you to come to your own conclusion, given the facts in a well thought out journalistic manner. So, but I would like to hear FD's thoughts on it. Well, actually,
that is true. Yeah, I would. Yeah, next time we have him on, I'll definitely because I actually am trying to line something up with him outside of just the an additional project. So yeah, we'll see what's up.
Yeah,
because I could tell that he didn't necessarily want the audience to walk away that way, but I was like, oh, Tyler, like I've kept finding myself feeling that out as I was listening to some of it, in a way I didn't expect. Yeah,
I think, and I thought about it a lot earlier. I think my issue, and I think that is a good segue to my thought.
Yeah, my
biggest issue with commentary on Drake is that normal listeners, at least from a platform perspective, from a social media perspective, have checked out of the discourse of Drake. It's either the stans who are going to like deify him no matter what because they see themselves in Drake for whatever reason, which is weird. And they want to deify their weirdo overlord. And then you have a lot of people. They have a lot of people that just don't like Drake as a person, for some valid reasons, for reasons that I think are very understandable, but they just don't like him. So they're not listening to the music without either of those lenses. It's stans who have to say that whatever he puts out is the greatest thing ever because they see themselves in him. And it's people who just don't like him. Again, not saying that they don't have valid reasons to. And they're just not listening, and they're just going to say whatever he's doing is trash. And I think that clouds both lenses to the fact that if I listen to it where I'm not a Drake stan and I don't hate him. I don't think he's the world's greatest person, but I don't hate Drake. I'm not giving Drake that kind of energy. It's a mad project, man. It's average shit. Like I listened to it right before this. I listened to it right when it dropped all the way through. And I listened to it right before this all the way through, literally all the way through. The songs that I just hate on it, that I just like, I never want to hear this again, are few and far between. There's a lot of songs on there where I'm like, this is okay. And there are like a handful of tracks where I'm like, I might save this.
This is on this most recent album.
And I'm talking just on Iceman. I haven't got to Made Him on there.
Okay. Because it's a trio album thing or something. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I haven't listened to it yet.
And that is also like another reason why I believe like he's breaking so many records, because he kind of doing that Chris Brown thing where you release a shit ton of music. So, but ain't nobody trying to get through a Chris Brown album like that, like all them damn tracks. That's actually that's actually like, because you want to talk about somebody who's kind of falling off a little bit, because like this last album getting trashed, but just as far as like that whole 3 albums, running them numbers the fuck up. So like that's another reason why like he's, you know, those numbers are so huge. But then again, you also have to be an artist who people will actually go out and check for all 3 albums, even if it's just to hate. Like you still running up the numbers, even if you just want to find something to hate on.
And I will say before I relinquish real quick, Reformed, I do agree with you, but when I say see yourself in them, I mean I see it's more along the lines of what you're saying. It was more of a euphemism, but I think you're spot on. I think people idolize Drake. They see when I say they see themselves in Drake, there's some aspect of that I think is literal, where it's like, you know, he's the transition from a lame to becoming like this rich and successful kind of situation, which I think appeals to FD's point, to niggas that are lames, right? But I also think to your point that because he's reached that it's more of a which I also touched on a little bit, a deification. It's I want to be this nigga. It's not like I see a lame that made it and, you know, I can be a lame that made it. His status makes him to a point where it's like aspirational. It's like I really just want to be this nigga, which is weird in and of itself. But I definitely think that you're spot on with the way that you described it.
See, because I remember another thing that FD said that I found like hilarious and maybe like incendiary, but it was like, you know, it was just, you know, something to say in a video kind of a thing. But he was just like, yeah, if Drake is your favorite rapper, like he basically just said, if Drake is your favorite rapper, you're probably a pedophile. He added a little bit of flair, but that's basically what he said. Like, word for word, he said something like, if Drake is your favorite rapper, not you like a few songs, but he's your favorite rapper, you're probably weird, as in into underage girls weird is what he said. And I'm like, that seems wild to me, but given the fact that Drake is like, by definition, probably the number one person that is people's favorite rapper. Like if you were to do like a stat of how many times does XYZ artist appear as the number one artist or as the number one rapper for a given person, and go, okay, cool. Jay-Z has this number of people who say he's their number one, blah, blah, blah. Drake will be at the top of that list if I had to guess. If not, you know, top 3.
Yeah, for sure.
Which just seems like, Drake is the plurality of people's favorite rapper. Like which we've established. Like he's been the biggest for a very long time. Multiple generations grew up with him as the top of rap, and he still statistically now is. So it just seems wild to be like, if you drink water, you probably gay or whatever. And it's like, everybody drinks water. Like, what are we even talking about, you know? But and so I don't know, I'm not necessarily making a point on that one, but to the relatability thing, I also feel like maybe we're discounting that a lot of Drake stans, I would have to assume, are women whose relationship to the music is a different thing than I want to be this person.
I would say I would like to see the numbers on that. I would say statistically for rap, the average rap like purchaser streamer is a under 50s white male.
I agree. So is that true for Drake though? Is the question.
I actually don't know. I think that's a good thread to pull,
because I suspect Drake's ratio of women fans is higher than the average rapper. That would be my suspicion. Like because that was a thing that was always brought up as like Drake makes music for women as a dig at him or a dismissal of his work has been a common stream throughout all of his stuff. So it also just seems a little bit weird for me to act like Drake fans are men and the only thing that they're interested in is the lame to cool pipeline. That I do agree with, but I think a lot of women listen to Drake and maybe they're also lames, but I feel like I've got a particular archetype in my head of low function, put upon, high conflict people who haven't quite made it, which is I would say argue like damn near maybe most people. It's like, yeah, you kind of got a whatever job and your baby mama did this and your job kind of has you fucked up. It's like, yeah, Drake is relatable to that. And that's kind of most people, men and women.
It's very accessible music.
Yeah, it's like it's tired on your work break, sucking on your vape music. And I feel like that's men and women, everybody. That's most people.
Yeah, it's because like very accessible music. Like it's consistent. Like it's McDonald's or Zaxby's. You know, I say it's like Zaxby's. You know, a lot of people like Zaxby's, so I don't just fuck with Zaxby's like that. It's chain food music, and I know someone in the chat said, but are people like really listening to Drake for like, introspective lyrics, things like that? And I would argue, yes, like his core fan base, absolutely. But they eat that shit up because it's so shallow. And I think that's kind of like one thing that FD was getting at, but outside of like maybe the pedophilia. But like I've heard this kind of take before where they say like, if Drake is your favorite if Drake is your favorite artist, like that kind of tells me a few things about you. You might not really be that, I don't want to say maybe like intellectually deep. In a sense, like you might
kind of simple
things, you know what I mean? But you're not doing a whole lot of
that's probably fair.
On things.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, but this whole one thing I will say just about the album, from what I've heard from it is a lot of
Wale, true. But Wale is not at the same level as but Wale would be in it. Yeah, I'm with that.
Yeah, one thing I will say about the album is it does sound a lot like Woe Is Me music.
And I think people love Woe Is Me music.
But it's crazy because for me listening to it, normally I do like when artists like get into their bag about like the shit they've been going through. Like just tell me like about your life, like the good, the bad, and but like for some reason
why breakup music has always done so amazingly.
Yeah. It's just like, but for some reason when Drake do it, it just feels like listening to a pity party.
It's annoying.
Like the depth and the substance kind of just feels like nigga ate my lunch. I gotta go hunting this wife, and then I had to go get this bit. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
yeah, it feels like it lacks that. Yeah, I think also do you have a suspicion on why that is? Because I was just about to throw spaghetti against the wall, but is there anything structurally that he's doing, or is it that just his brand has eroded, so kind of anything that he says is just going to have that little annoying shine on it? Or
no, man, this nigga was rapping about the beef on every track. It'd be like this, it'd be like a song, and it'd be like,
let it go. Yeah,
this song is for the ladies. This my club hit. Yeah, everybody put your hands up. Fuck Kendrick.
Okay.
Kendrick finally got one off. I'm off that now, but let me talk about it for 11 more tracks. Like,
that is annoying. That is annoying. Yeah,
I hope
this nigga got his one victory ever in life. Fuck him. Let's go, ladies. Like,
let's go, ladies.
Let's go, ladies.
And he's in the air, ladies.
Let me real quick introduce the podcast so we can continue this. But welcome everybody to Waving the Red Flag. Aubrey's favorite Kendrick podcast. It's your boy Eddie. It's Josh. It's Alvin. Welcome. Yeah, fair enough. I think if you're whining about the same things, because the person that I feel like has done this the best, and I'm not nearly the historian that y'all are when it comes to music, but 444 to me felt like you've somehow managed to do something that seems quite difficult, which is like mature as a rapper while still lamenting, like still giving pain at a different point in life, which it seems like most musicians actually. Like I feel like rap and rock stars both struggle to do this, and I haven't seen it done very often.
I think
maybe Johnny Cash.
So I definitely think, and I don't even think Johnny Cash did it that way, because like my favorite like old Johnny Cash were covers. Like I say that all the time, like American 4. I'm thinking about Hurt. Hurt is not his. Hurt is his song.
Yeah, that's the 9 Inch Nails. It's shit. Yeah, Hurt is what I was thinking of. Yeah.
And brief story on Hurt, because Hurt is one of my favorite stories. And we got live on that shit, so whatever. We'll be unstructured. Trent Reznor let him cover that, and Trent Reznor wrote that in a very deep, dark place. And one of my favorite stories is how he says that he regrets letting Johnny Cash take that song, because now nobody associates a song that he wrote from a very dark, like sad place that was cathartic for him with him. because that is Johnny Cash's song now.
100%.
But
I know Otis probably feel that way about respect. Like, yeah, sometimes you got to be careful who you let cover your shit, because they will take it and run the fuck away, and now it's their thing.
Yeah, but where I think Jay-Z was able to escape a lot of these same issues is, one, Jay-Z's next album after the beef, and Joe Budden podcast touched on this too, was good. It was amazing. So that's that. And he also didn't make his whole character about losing the beef, and I think that helped. It was like the beef happened. It also helped that Jay-Z had subsequent beefs after that for people that he could beat. So I think that also like helped his credit from that perspective. So you had like Dig a Hole and shit and all that on Kingdom Come, which is, in my opinion, an underrated Jay-Z album. But the other thing is, to your point, Jay-Z transitioned, and I've said this too. So I'm not gonna. This isn't a holier than thou take, but a lot of people put 444 on this pedestal as like a hard pivot from Jay-Z. When actually, if you follow Jay-Z's music post, the retirement kind of situation, he was already transitioned into that. So you had like Lost Ones, and you had basically all of Magna Carta Holy Grail was basically a transition point where this is like, I'm an older established rapper. American Gangster is probably the best example. This is not like I'm in the streets, I'm young Jay-Z, Dead Presidents Jay-Z. It was very I'm an older mafioso type rap. So I think that Jay-Z allowed himself to live with his L gracefully, move forward, and transition over time into like the old man rapper, which I think is, it's uncommon, but it's not super rare. But I don't think there's a better example. I think he's the one that did it the best.
I don't. So rap is still very, very much so young as a genre.
Yeah, true.
So y'all got to think.
Just meeting the old rappers, yeah.
If we're talking about just the age of a rapper, there has never been a lot of our OGs are still active and still getting at it. You got your Black Thoughts, of course, Clips, hell, even 2 Chainz, Alchemist, Currency. Like, these niggas is in their 40s. Well into their, like, and everyone's like, always like, old rap is a young man's game. Like, you got to be in your 20s or your teens to like really pop off. Method Man still rapping his ass off. So as far as like, the transition, like I think Jay-Z definitely, and Nas, of course, how the hell could I forget Nas in that? And there's so many others as well. So I think Jay-Z has definitely had like the best branding in that transition, because like he 10 plus years ago, he was like, yo, we off the money phone shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Check that song, Change Clothes. One of his lines was, y'all niggas doing way too much. Put on the suit, y'all, and tape it up or something like that.
Yeah.
So like, but like Alvin says, he's been kind of on that trajectory, and like, mafioso.
Yeah, I guess he got hot older. That's also a thing too that I think people neglect. He got hot older. So like when Nas was like hot, like early on, Nas was young.
Jay-Z was like 16 when his first thing, right? Like super young, right?
I want to say 19 when came out. Jay-Z, when Reasonable Doubt came out, was 27, getting ready to be 28, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, old.
Like Jay-Z was already quote unquote old for rap. But also it's like, even to Josh's point now, like a lot of the people that we still think of as like running the game, like these are older motherfuckers now, right? Like Drake's almost 40. Kendrick's almost 40. You know what I mean? Like these are not young, quote unquote, young rappers anymore. The young rapper is and I honestly don't know who's the young rapper with star power now. Probably Youngboy, and Youngboy not young. Like the young rappers ain't young no more. Like Lil Baby's almost 30.
Yeah.
I want to say Youngboy is 26.
I think we actually maybe don't know. Like I think there's an answer to that question that we just maybe don't know. Like whoever's on the XL freshman list.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like Youngboy is. I'm a verify.
That's like 3 generations back. Youngboy is, because he's on your radar. Like Youngboy was on the XL freshman list like 5 years ago. I wouldn't even have considered him an up and comer or anything like that.
Yeah, Youngboy is getting ready to turn 27.
Really, no one said like being 40 was just like the hit. the end. We were just using 40 and 50 as an analogy.
Yeah, no, just old for a rapper in the same way. It's an industry thing. It's like when Ryan Coogler was like, you know, at 30, I would have been an old NFL player, but at 30, I'm a young director. It's just 40 is old for a rapper, not that 40 is old.
Yeah. There are rappers with lyrics that say this. So I'm thinking about One Blood remix when Game said you over 30 and you still rapping or Eminem on Soldier. Eminem said that he was gonna be retired by 30. Like he was like, that's just what this was. Like, so there are those conversations.
Like
I think it's shifted.
gymnastics.
Yeah, I think it shifted for sure. I see Griselda. Griselda's a good example. Like these niggas didn't get hot till they was almost 40. Motherfucker, West Side Gun and them got hot when they was like 35. Like that's just crazy. So I think it shifted.
Tizo Touchdown is also another one.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but Tizo feels like a it's similar to like Lucky Day, where they're like they're what's the boxing term? They're like fighting below their weight, kind of a thing. Yeah, where they're like they blew up in their mid 30s, but they're actually playing like mid 20s in their approach to the game, which is the same thing as like a Zendaya or the woman who plays the Mexican girl in Euphoria, where it's like, yeah, she's 35, but she's playing a 19-year-old, and so she's blowing up as like a young actor, but it's like she's in her 30s and she's been in the game for a while. Or Marie Moreau, she's 30. The Jazz Sinclair, who plays the like college freshman in Gen V, she's 32. You know what I mean?
And this is what I mean when I was asking about, and I do think this is a little bit off topic, but I like this topic. When I'm saying like who's next up that's like young, the example that I give is that when Lil Wayne was with the Hot Boys, my mother, like in her 40s, knew who Lil Wayne was. And if we're talking, you see what I'm saying? That's what I mean. Like when Fireman came out on the Carter One, like my father knew who Lil Wayne was. That's a star. So like these up and coming drill rappers that only like SoundCloud niggas know about, I think that's a little bit different. I think there's people with potential. So like NLE Chopper, I think has potential. I think he needs somebody to channel his creative vision. Is he a crazy person?
What you're aiming at?
Yeah, but like, who's the guy? Right? Again, people that were in hip hop knew Nas was the guy when he was 19. Do we think NLE Chopper is the guy? I actually think he could be, because again, I think he has a vision that I think somebody just needs to harness. Young boy, you know, outside his MAGA stuff, people who are longtime listeners know I'm really high on Young boy. And Young boy is selling out like stadiums. So like maybe, but I think that I'm still looking for who that guy is.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think Reform made the point that it seems like you're gesturing at, which is, you know, the death of monoculture, and it's not that there aren't talented young artists, but that they're just being a young, hot rapper that people who don't listen to rap know it just maybe isn't going to be a thing anymore. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I would never say never. Like, there's always going to be somebody, you know, next up. I just don't like that actual star, like that super young star. Like a Lil Wayne was a phenomenon. Lil Wayne, I say this lightly. I say this hot take, and I say this lightly. But in terms of the age at which Lil Wayne got famous and his talent with a pen for rapping, you could kind of compare him to Michael Jackson in a sense when he was in the Jackson 5.
Yeah, okay.
Lil Wayne was like 12, if I'm not mistaken, when he was around. I mean, like
little guy,
12, 13,
yeah. And he was on like in the studio, full songs. Nigga, what was Alvin, what was the name of Lil Wayne's first album?
Surely Not Ethical.
It was The Blackest Hot.
Yeah. The Blackest Hot. Bro, he was all bumping that shit.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to be that nigga. It was like I wanted to be Wayne and Allen Iverson. Like I wanted to be that nigga. Like for like a 6-month stretch.
Mm-hmm.
Do y'all think that is just the monoculture thing, or that it's just part of rap no longer being arguably the biggest genre in the Western world anymore? That is just like, or do we think that there are young stars in other genres who are like, oh, they're like, people know them, like your mom knows them kind of thing?
I'm sure, but I mean, like we we not tapped into those. I mean, I'm not tapped into say.
I think,
I think if in order for it to be true, you would like you not knowing is no to my question. Then basically,
so like if you look at the zeitgeist, or I can't say what the zeitgeist is saying for sure. If you look at some indicators of what the zeitgeist is tracking to, this is like, it's like 4 people running music right now. Nobody's selling huge like that. Like people sell shows out, but a lot of that is based on like nostalgia stuff. It's like Usher can still sell out in arena. Like Usher doesn't have a number 1 album. But if I'm looking at like streaming numbers, people are gravitating more toward older stuff. So like this year is actually the first year where like the most streamed stuff is old shit. It's not new shit. And the top artists are going to be like Bad Bunny, Taylor Swift, Drake, and Kendrick. Like like they run and Weekend, and like right after that Weekend. Like that's like the game right now.
Yeah, those are there's like 3-4 generations of artists back. Like I don't know how long Bad Bunny's been around, but those other 3 are And Chapel Rowan, I'd say she's young-ish, like she's late for a musician. And her blow up, I would say. I feel like maybe young is also the wrong thing. It's like it's also are you new? Not just are you young, but are you new? She's definitely
been in the game a long time though.
Okay, 28.
Yeah, she got signed like 10 years ago.
Okay, so she's not new and she's not young. She
was in development.
It's her time.
She was developed. Yeah. This is her time. Like she put the work in type shit.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Speaking of people who did or did not put the work in to be where they are, do we want to get into Miss Cheyenne Bryant? Sorry, Mrs. Cheyenne Bryant.
She's married?
Cheyenne Bryant. Oh, no, you're right. Sorry, Miss Cheyenne Bryant.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
I see what you did there, Josh. You was ready to sign that NDA.
Not at all. Not for that one.
I'm ready to sit in the chair. Mrs. Bryant. Well, shit, let me see. Okay, so I saw Cam, FD, Young Don all talked about this. Cheyenne Bryant is apparently not only like a life, or it is being said to be a lifestyle guru, like grifter, taking broke people's money, and also don't really have the qualifications necessary to be any of the shit that she is using as clout, is what's being said. Yes.
I ain't gonna hold you, like that video Cam did, very solid piece.
Oh yeah, he did some looking.
Do we want to play like some of that, or we just kind of
absolutely,
because he gave a lot of really good context. And I thought something was up with her, but I just wasn't tapped in like that because I wasn't paying that close of attention to her. But yeah, I can definitely see the grift now, like 100% clear as day. Like even with the whole like doctors thing and her not being willing to actually show off her degree and her diploma, because anybody with a degree is gonna say, here it is, nigga. Like, especially if you got your doctorate. Seems like I'm not addressing this like you will. Like, no, I'm above showing you.
Yeah, it's very. I will say that
found it if it exists.
Say again.
I'm surprised people haven't found it if it exists, because there are services that
you
can
100%.
Like the clearinghouse, National Clearinghouse has like most universities like on it. So like, I'm surprised some journalist or creator hasn't just like paid that account fee and just like checked, because you can still find Argosy.
They're saying they have. I don't know if did you already watch Cam's thing? Like they're saying they checked and it doesn't exist. Like they're saying she definitely isn't a doctor because her dissertation doesn't exist on wherever that should be, clearinghouse or whatever. They've checked parchment. There's no record of her having actually completed the thing at. It was it was the name of one of these like DeVry style pay to play universities that got shut down. Argosy. Yeah, Argosy. Yeah. And they were like, yeah, we've checked. It's not there, and it should be. To the point that you made. So it's like, if it was there, it would have been there. And you definitely would show us if you had it, is the argument. So both FD and Cam have concluded that she definitely doesn't have her doctorate. FD has fallen on the side of she probably has her master's.
She said that's from University of Phoenix. You could check that too. So also just being honest.
They couldn't find that one, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. But like also red flags, just by the way. Like if somebody's like putting out their credentials, and they went to, you know, a school that like advertises solely on daytime talk shows, and on, you know, reruns of Maury Povich type shit. Even if they had it, probably not a very good one. Like, all programs are not created equal. And I feel like that definitely about most private for-profit education entities, even not for-profit entities as well, which includes the University of Phoenix, in addition to Argosy, because University of Phoenix doesn't have a great reputation either. They probably should be shut down.
Yeah. And I think the idea is that those universities are the result of some rollbacks on regulation on what you're allowed to do as a university, and it's a sales, like, money making venture rather than like a robust education. Exactly what you said. So it's like, yeah, if you have a degree from that place, it's, even if you do have it, it's kind of bullshitty. So, and she doesn't even have that, which is crazy. Arguably, allegedly.
I mean, oh yeah, but I mean, I know some folks that, you know, got their masters from University of Phoenix or online, you know, accredited. You
How
know,
are they doing?
Right,
they're accredited.
You know, they're accredited. You know, hey, they got it, because most people don't really care where you get your masters from as long as you actually get the degree.
Depends.
Yeah, but you know, generally speaking, if you have like a master's degree, like, you know, they're not like, oh, what school? Phoenix? Oh, hell no, like, you know.
So maybe they should. Like, yeah,
so
is what I have to say.
Yeah, I'll tell a story. Story. So it's not difficult to figure out where I went to school. So I went to undergrad at Emory University, and I got my first 2 master's degrees from Emory University. I got my MBA from the University of Georgia. So I remember going to job fairs. And the University of Georgia MBA program is a top 25 ranked program, by the way. Like, it's not like I went to like a shitty MBA program. But Emory is considered, you know, generally as a national university to be a better university than the University of Georgia. I think that's nuance and all that kind of stuff. I would go to job fairs and I would have 2 different resumes. I would have one that didn't mention UGA at all, and I would have one that had all of my degrees on it. I would go to booths and talk to a representative and show them the one with all of my universities on it, get 0 play, no conversation, basically just threw my resume in the trash. We'll talk to you, whatever. We'll put you in your database. You fill this out, whatever. I go and show just the Emory one. Would you like to sit down with us now? Like, that's just an example, right? Like, there are companies that will not recruit from certain schools. There are certain jobs that you limit yourself from. You can make a way from anywhere, right? Like, the way I describe it is that if you go to Harvard does the groundwork for you. For a lot of companies, right? If you go to, and I'll personalize it, if you go to the University of Georgia, can you get the same job as the Harvard graduate? Absolutely. But you got to do a lot of legwork that Harvard does for you if you go to Harvard. And given the fact that I didn't go to Harvard, I just wanted to personalize that like, it matters where you go to school for that kind of stuff. In terms of direct practice, I think, to Josh's point, it doesn't matter when you're actually practicing, right? Like, if you learn the skill, you learn the skill, right? So you probably can do the job regardless. But let's not pretend like the world doesn't view those things differently, right? And then also from that perspective, I do want to throw a bone to people, because University of Phoenix, because Cheyenne Bryan is also not a young person. So online education has exploded recently, right? So now there's a lot of options where you can get master's degrees at really reputable schools online, right? Ivy League schools have online programs now. You can go to Brown and get a master's in public health now. You know, like, Dartmouth has an online engineering program, all this kind of stuff. Like, you can, like, it's much more accessible at like reputable schools now. You go even 10 years back, you didn't have a lot of options for flexible like degree programs and all that kind of stuff. So people who were trying to like still work and care for their families, you know, keep their jobs, like, didn't have a whole lot of options. But now you got a lot of low-cost options. Like, I tell people all the time, especially people interested in counseling, like, you can go to one of these like state schools online now and spend like a fifth of what University of Phoenix costs and have a degree that people respect. So like, you probably shouldn't go, like, those programs really should be on the death knell right now, but they're not for a lot of reasons. But I did want to give that last caveat before I relinquish my time.
Excellently said. I didn't mean to downplay like, you know, just the role of just, oh, you can get like any masters and it don't matter. Because absolutely, if you're like doing some high level shit, people, of course, you know, a Harvard degree versus a University of Phoenix degree is just going to trump any damn day, especially in like some high level places, for sure. But can we roll that's
yeah, of course.
Cam's video? I think the most potent parts of that video was during the 3-minute mark, the 6-minute mark, and around like 11 minutes.
Thank you for marking that. Yeah.
Well,
seems to be an indigenous university with multiple accreditations in the UK, but it definitely doesn't mean
further.
No, a little bit back because he's talking about her fake schooling. So you can stop right here.
You being a therapist and practice.
So I'm a psychology expert.
Sorry, yes.
she curses more than any mental health professional I've ever seen, uses a lot more slang, drops some truly basic Tyler Perry movie-esque psychology sound bites, and intentionally targets low-income communities that would fall for this kind of grift, unfortunately. That's evidenced by the relatively affordable prices on her website. She's a social media star, so please believe her rates would be in the tens of thousands in private practice if she was charging based on all the clout she brags about on her site and her capacity. That might lead you to say, well, she wants to serve people who can't afford therapy in the Black community, Cam. Interesting theory. We'll come back to that. One of her other honorary doctorates is from Harvest Christian University in 2025, which claims to be an indigenous university with multiple accreditations, all of which are bullshit. I searched for Harvest Christian University in the DAPIP database for accredited institutions in the US, and it doesn't show up. Their Royal Charter accreditation, maybe that would fly in the UK, but it definitely doesn't mean shit here. They list a couple more accreditations on the page, and neither of those show up on the CHEA website for approved accreditation agencies. This school is where you go to buy a degree in order to get away with calling yourself a doctor, despite never earning a real doctorate. Her master's at University of Phoenix, since she claims that degree is in marriage, family, and child therapy, and the University of Phoenix has that course, it's got to be it, right? That being said, that course is supposed to qualify students to receive their license in California. It's literally designed to do that. Since she said herself that she doesn't operate with a license, I'm side-eyeing that degree too.
Where did you get your start?
My start.
Yeah, see, so those feel relatively damning of like maybe she don't have none of these degrees. I think though the thing I'm like, because I don't necessarily agree with Cam's sort of admonishing of the cursing and the swearing and the accessibility thing and the slang, because I feel like those are I like that. Like that's fine. If you go, okay, cool, I'm still from where I'm from, I'm authentic, I'm a person, I'm trying to be accessible. But if you also don't have any of the knowledge to back it up, then that's the singular issue. I guess where I'm at is
I was just gonna say, I see what because I mean I ain't got no business talking about anybody cussing because I cuss like a motherfucker. Like everybody know that. That's
it's meaningless. It doesn't, yeah.
But in terms of a profession, and then like how she responds, it does come across like unprofessional in a manner that I'm not sure if I would want my therapist or like my life coach approaching certain subjects or responses. Like, for instance, you know, some people might not like the example, but how she went at Parks for the whole like white privilege thing. I don't.
You thought that was unprofessional as a.
That was slightly. I thought I thought that was like a weird, like, and then kind of like unprofessional. If you're like a life coach or if you're somebody like that, if someone who really practices, and then that video, like I said, like the 6-minute mark, the 11-minute mark, like if she goes on to kind of like contradict herself, it's all sorts of stuff that, you know, he put in that, you know, that's in that. And so I just basically see what he's saying about like the language and how she responds to things. That seems kind of unprofessional, and, you know, it's not necessarily just the cussing in and of itself, but
yeah, because to me, cursing is whatever, and it's like if you're going, hey, I'm an expert popularizer. I think that part of what you're doing is being I'm a regular person who happens to be an expert. Because Mark Lamont Hill almost fist fought Queen's Flip on a urban podcast. I don't think that makes him any less an expert. I think that makes him more accessible. Like, I think that's a positive is what I'm getting at.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the only thing that matters to me is the fact that she has a degree, and the like, oh, she curses and uses slang stuff. To me, it just feels like respectability politics that's more interested in like academic clout than actual impact and expertise. So I think I'm just very strongly against that criticism. Like, I think that she should, if you're like, hey, I'm a professional, I know my shit, and yeah, I'm an astrophysicist and I come on the podcast with my grilling like Dr. Starkid does. I think that's a positive to me, not a negative. But she don't have the degree. That's the issue. Dr. Starkid has his doctorate in astrophysics. Yeah, he wears the grill. Yeah, he's got the chains. Like, cool. That's, to me, that's points to me.
Mm-hmm. Hell, even someone like Professor Odie.
Exactly. And Professor Odie is, as far as I can tell, is quite clear about which things he does. And here, I have this license. I don't do this. I'm not this yet. I'm working to be this. So he seems quite transparent as well. So, which I also appreciate. He's like, I'm not a doctor. You know what I mean? Like, so.
Yeah. I don't know if you want, because like there's a lot of meat. There's much more meat in that video.
Do you want to bring it up and you click through? Because I'm happy to, but yeah.
Okay.
While we're going through it, I think that in her interview, what I hated that she did was, again, she's a walking contradiction, and we talked about this when we did her, our spot treatment on her conversation with Parks. She's a walking contradiction, because what she simultaneously does is she's built her career on the assumed authority of her academic prowess. And in that interview, she was like, well, I'm now not going to do that because y'all should just listen to what I'm saying. And I do think that on some level, there's a lot of validity to that if that's how you start, right? Because I think FD does that a lot. I think a lot of people don't really realize like FD's credentials and like what he's like done from that perspective. And they just say, he's a brother that's talking and it's making sense. It's researched and we just go with it, right? He doesn't rely on you
can check it yourself.
It doesn't rely on the assumed authority of any degree or whatever. I think Mark Lamont Hill does that reasonably well, right? I think we all just know that he's, a doctor, a doctor of, in the academic sense, and that he's a professor and has been a professor, for years, directly in those subject matters. But I think that a lot of times he's just talking to you. He's not doing the like, well, I have a degree kind of thing. She has historically done that. And then when people called her out on this, she's like, well, you shouldn't care that I don't, whether or not I have a degree, because you should just look at my results for themselves. You've been able to see what I've been able to do on camera when dealing with these people, and the way I present myself and the way I lay out my arguments and my cases. So why does it matter if I have a degree? And I think that it just, that's my, exactly. It's the way that she has branded herself this entire time. So for her to just like backtrack on that, if nothing else, is just, again, just another check in the box of her arguments being rife with contradictions. If you go even one layer deeper than she assumes that people are going.
Yep, grifting. Because I mean, like even at one point, she said she started out as a therapist or in therapy, and then backtrack and say, "Oh no, I'm not a therapist. I was never a therapist. I'm a life coach, something like that." But hold on, let me get the thing pulled up real quick.
And just before you play it, I'll add that I think more than one thing can be going on, because I think I have been a little bit hesitant to be too critical too quick, because I do think there is a sense of like, oh, you're a woman, conventionally attractive, maybe you were a dumbass the whole time. Like, we need to see these degrees that maybe wouldn't be happening in the same way for other people, but that doesn't mean that you can't also be a grifter. So I think more than one thing is happening. I think that there definitely are people who are going to look at her and be like, we think you're maybe full of shit. Now, she also apparently, as the evidence is laid out, they happen to have been correct. So I think that you can have both things, be true.
Yeah. And hate to spin the block on a black woman like this, but the grift is the grift, And
Yeah.
because
I think it's the same as with the Lizzo shit, where you go like, all right, are people piling on for the right reasons? I think that's if you don't have the degree, cool, let's pile on that. The other shit, I'm not super interested in.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I'll just play the video for right now, and then we'll continue the commentary.
In California, it's literally designed to do that.
Since
she said herself that she doesn't operate with a license.
Can you hear it?
Yeah, can you put it in theater mode?
I'm sorry. I in that degree too.
Where did you get your start?
My start as far as like a therapist, I started off as a marriage, family, child therapist about 18 years ago. Before I obtained my doctorate degree in counseling psychology. Once I became a doctor of psychology, I transitioned from a therapist to a psychology expert in private practice. And so I no longer practice under a license. I'm in private practice. That's what I'm saying. And that's what people don't understand, right? So just to educate some folks a little bit, a license is really only needed so you can bill insurance. And let me go a step further. Majority of people who know that in order to bill insurance as a therapist or a physician or a psychologist, psychiatrist, you have to diagnose. Okay. Most people don't want to have a diagnosis on their record. So what do they rather do? Pay out of pocket.
We see this excuse.
Okay, I want to stop it right here because as somebody who is in therapy, who has dealt with mental health shit, I would never want this woman as my therapist, as my life coach, as my nothing. Like, even when she said that shit, like the only reason why you need a license is to build insurance. That's complete bullshit. That is an obvious lie. And then two, that whole thing about people not wanting to have their diagnosis, not been wanting to be diagnosed, is cap. How the fuck, if you having an issue, how on earth? And for one, she said it herself, she is unable to give diagnosis. She can't diagnose people. So that's an obvious contradiction right there.
But she's playing that as a strength of like, you don't have, is that, I didn't quite understand what she was arguing really on that part.
She be like, because the way she doesn't answer like the question like directly.
Oh yeah. She's good at talking.
But it's grifting, my nigga. Like I really understand more of what a grifter is because of this, even more so. But the whole thing with like that diagnostic shit is diagnosis thing is pure cap. Like the audacity, because if you can't have like a diagnosis, how on earth are you supposed to get medication or treatment? But you're going to therapy and you're going to like doctors to receive treatment. So like that, just as someone who was actually like, in that space as a patient, and then I've been like, over years or whatever, like that is like crazy to me. And then knowing a lot of other people that deal with mental health stuff, that's absolutely insane. I ain't never heard nobody be like, yo, hell no, I don't want this. I'd rather just pay out of pocket instead of actually get the diagnosis. Like, the fuck?
Yeah, that's crazy work.
Okay.
And let's see here.
Issues time and time again by grifters.
But the reality is, it's not about the degree. I've never shouted, I have a bunch of degrees.
It is about the degrees. As for the part about servicing poor Black people who can't afford to bill insurance, I don't believe it. Positioning this grift as community service doesn't really match up with what I see on her site. Those packages are a clear money grab focused on filling every potential avenue for profit via mass appeal and volume orders, and seen in the past. Let's move on. Speaking of the doctorate allegations, she said this on The Breakfast Club.
The conversation about your doctorate because people can't find your dissertation online. How are you responding to that in this new era of your life?
I'm going to clear it up once on here. I'm not doing it again. And I'm clearing it up for my doc squad, for my fan base, for my audience who deserve to hear me address it. For the folks who have already made up their mind to not like me or not understand me, listen, I don't give a fuck what your narrative is. I would like for you to recreate it, double down on it, and run that shit. Because I don't give a fuck about it. Now, to my doc squad, my fan base, my folks, my village, it's very simple. I went to a school, Argos University, completed an entire program. I went back online to get my official transcripts because I was applying to a law school many years ago to be a professor there. And I had to provide my transcripts, right, to get hired. And I went to contact the school and say, hey, I need my official transcripts. I need my entire thing. and there was no school. I was like, okay, I'm confused. I Google. It says this school has been shut down. I said, oh, well, they got to have records. I mean, they were accredited when I attended the school. They were accredited when I finished the program. I go and look, there is a third party that has the records. Why I contact the third party? That third party only holds records for 2 years.
I'm no psychologist, but I recognize toxic defensiveness when I see it, because I've done it. All that cussing and posturing wasn't necessary. If she was qualified, she could have just explained it in one sentence. Combine that with the iced out doc chain she wears everywhere, and this is starting to feel like a rap beef. All of Argosy University's diplomas can be retrieved from the Parchment site, which I checked out. They list the school and say they can deliver diplomas from Argosy. All she'd have to do is give them the necessary info. It would take less than 5 minutes all in. This was a lie. Furthermore, a lot of doctorate programs require a dissertation. Not saying hers did, since it's a PsyD like the degree Umar has. But in any case, she doesn't have a published dissertation either. I checked ProQuest and her name pulls up 0 results. You don't
Umar
need to
does,
read
by
up
the
to
way.
call yourself a psychology.
Oh, have a dissertation.
Yeah, you can find Umar's like dissertation
There you
online.
go.
I've
There
read
you
it
go.
from PCOM.
Good, because he is a doctorate, or he does have his doctorate.
He
Yeah,
is,
okay,
and
there you go.
I have my thoughts on PCOM as an institution as well. But like
It
he
might be
did that
bullshit,
shit, and
but-
you can find the nigga's dissertation online right now. It's real easy to do that shit. I don't understand. Like,
and see that's why this feels like, and yeah, because the Cam's thing about like her doc chain or whatever, I'm like, yeah, that feels respectability politics to me. Does she have the thing or does she not have the thing? That's all that matters. And it's like they asked her a question about her dissertation, and she started talking about her transcripts. So she didn't say I don't have a dissertation for my degree because it didn't require that. Which based on what Cam said, that's some degrees maybe don't require that. She just answered a whole different fucking question that kind of was in the direction of it. But she wasn't like, where is your dissertation? If you did a doctorate with one, what's going on?
it's also like, because going back to school and eventually getting my doctorate is on my list, and I don't want to get a PhD. Mostly because it would be harder for me to do a PhD part-time. If I could do a PhD part-time, then I would do one from a reputable institution. So if I'm looking at what I would like to get it in, the closest I could probably get is a DRPH, and DRPH is more practical focus, which is it's akin to a PsyD versus a PhD, right? They're supposed to be more about practice. You're supposed to be learning how to do the thing, right? Even for most DR research. You're not supposed to be like, you're supposed to be capable of doing research, but research is not supposed to be your career.
Okay.
So from that perspective, like you're like a DRPH, you're a practitioner of public health. You're a PsyD, you're a practitioner of psychology at a doctorate level. But even for most DRPH programs, you have to do something that is pretty fucking equivalent to a dissertation.
Okay, yeah. So she should have an answer to that question, really, regardless.
It's a long practicum like paper, like it's a long like research project. It's a long kind of thing. Like it's I'm not buying it, man. And it's like,
And yeah, there really would be no reason for you not to answer those questions if it was easy to. Yeah, if it's easy to solve, you should have just been like, yeah, no, I'm here's my thing. Here's the school that got shut down. You can find it here. Yeah, Cam did all the work. It's
also just being honest. Just being honest. And I know it was I really do wish that we had got it while it was hot, when it was like a big thing in the fitness world. Josh, I know you're on your workout shit too now, but like the Dr. Mike Israel shit is very similar to this.
Oh, what is this?
So he's like one of the names in like the fitness like YouTube community, and he relies very much heavily on the fact that he's a doctor of exercise science.
And what's this guy's name?
Mike Israel. Dr. Mike is his
because I know Dr. Mike is he the guy with the glasses who did the cut stuff? Oh no, there's a different guy. Okay, yeah. There's another.
They've done videos before because they're both called Dr. Mike. They've done they've been on each other's podcasts.
The big head guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So with his thing, it was and I promise I'm square to circle. He actually does have a doctorate, but the whole issue is that his dissertation is trash. So people found his dissertation and were like basically tearing it apart because it has like all this kind of bullshit in it. And he was telling people that, oh, that was the wrong version. Like, I got this new upload, all this kind of stuff. And it was a whole thing that was hilarious by people basically saying, like, you rely very heavily on the authority of being a doctor of exercise science, but your research is ass. It was such a big deal. I went and fucking read my master's thesis. I was like, oh shit, was this good? Is people gonna pull my card if this is ass? But all that to say is that even if a school didn't have a copy of your dissertation, you know how many fucking copies of my master's thesis I have? I have like 5 leather bound copies of my master's dissertation. I have this shit saved in every fucking corner of like accessibility. I have like physical backups. I have cloud backups. I have this shit on like 5 like hard drives. Like you save that kind of shit. Like her not having like something that's easily reproducible. And I have that. I don't even have my degrees. I don't know where the fuck my degrees are, but I got that fucking like paper that I put them. You
can email somebody and get the shit mailed to you 100%. But I maybe this is me back in the defense bag of like, okay, yeah, maybe one thing is true, but another thing is also true. I'm like, wouldn't she just, if I was her and I was a grifter who didn't have my doctorate or my master's and was, constantly changing my title so that I wasn't overstepping the bounds of my lack of education. If somebody said, produce my dissertation, I'd just be like, ChatGPT, psych dissertation. Here you go. You know what I mean? But then I feel like that actually probably wouldn't be that effective. So maybe what she's like, at this point, would producing a dissertation even actually make people believe, you know what I'm saying? Like maybe it wouldn't even make sense to bother. Because I think maybe if it was really, really good, but I think if she produces a middling dissertation, goes, here's my dissertation, it's kind of whatever, but I'm still a doctor, people would go, nah, fake. So why bother?
If she could actually produce a real dissertation, I do think that would matter. Because I mean, that would give her validity and credit. It was just, but it would still be like a stain of like, why didn't you do this before? Like that's kind of weird. Like again, like I wouldn't necessarily, and no disrespect to her, but I would not want to seek personal counsel from her.
Yeah, no, you made that one very clear.
We also count like those podcast appearances as actual sessions with a Cam Newton, Nick Cannon, and like some other like appearances she's done. Like she actually counts those as actual like sessions.
Yeah.
What does she mean by what do we mean by count?
She said, you've seen my work on with Cam
such
Newton,
as
Nick Cannon. She's citing Shannon Sharp. She's counting those as actual sessions of her expertise and practice.
That don't seem like an issue to me. Like that just feels like metaphorical. Like not metaphorical, but that just seems like in order for her to be doing what y'all are saying that she is doing, and again, I'm not in the fuck it, whatever. I'll just say what I'm saying. In order for her to be doing what y'all are saying she's doing, she would have to be doing something like billing the hours to insurance or filing that hour-long session with some psych body or something like that. Right, she can't do that. So to me, what is it when she says, hey, you've seen me practice some of my craft in the form of content, is like, that doesn't, fine. Like if somebody, if Neil deGrasse Tyson goes on a podcast and says, you've seen me talk about science on a podcast, there's nothing grifty about that to me. Again, the lack of degrees and the fact that what she's saying is maybe easily debunked bullshit pop sci, cool. Those are marks against her ledger. I'm totally with you. But her saying, you've seen me do my craft, which involves conversation in the form of content. So that's not anything. That doesn't. Yeah, that's not a tick against her. I would think.
I 100% disagree. That is a red flag. Like that's.
He's at the thing.
Hold on.
Hit it.
We gotta hold on. God damn it, monster. Here we go.
Come on, man.
Red flag.
Here we go. Thank you, Steve.
You know what else?
Stevie Wonder could see that's a red flag.
Sure could.
But
okay, so why do you think it's a red flag is my question.
Because like an actual session does not look like that. And she's saying like those were actual sessions. I could see if she didn't like frame it that way, but she's cited those podcast appearances as an actual session of me performing my craft. A therapy life coach session, I can't imagine would look like that. Like that sort of back and forth, like more so of an interview. I'm getting to know you.
Okay.
Club goddamn appearances are also sessions.
Okay. Meaning she's arguing I have not just unpacked a concept with Cam Newton that maybe is a little bit helpful for a viewer, but that by the end of this, I've completed the same level of work with Cam as if he were to sit on my couch, and I've
one-on-one in private
brought him in the direction of being healed, as opposed to made some educational psych content that maybe did peel away some layers of his issues. But she's saying like, no, I treated him.
Yes.
Eventually.
Okay.
Verbatim.
If that's what she's saying, then I now see what y'all are saying.
It's a clip. I got damn it. We probably ain't got time, but I could find that shit what she said. Might be in my
other,
but yeah.
And also like to the point is like, and that's why I think the Mike Israel thing is interesting, especially I think it's interesting period, but just in this context is like, let's say she produces something. The reason why he was lambasted, because like everybody dogpiled on him. This was like the hottest thing in like fitness.
Sorry, who's the he? Oh, Dr. The other big Dr. Mike.
Yeah. So this was the hottest concept in like fitness YouTube for like 2-3 weeks. Like people made like 8 videos on this one that were getting like millions and millions of views because he's a name player in his space, right? The issue wasn't that he wasn't a doctor. Like he got his shit conferred. Like people saw like a signed off on like doctoral dissertation. Cool. People were like, this shit sucks. That was the whole like crux of it. So even if you like produce something, let's say she chat GPT, let's say she chat GPT, let's say she actually does have it, right? And she puts it out now, and like she's been doing this song and dance. Now people are gonna read it. Now people are gonna see it. So if she puts it out now, that shit better be good. Because again, the whole issue with Dr. Mike was not that he did not have the credential that he said he had. It was people looked at his shit and they said,
and we're like, this is trash. You're an idiot.
Yeah, like one of his chief conclusions in his dissertation was
women eat salad, man eat steak.
It was people who work out are stronger than people who don't work out. That's like a quote from like his findings. They were like, okay. He's pushing the boundaries of this shit. And then the people on his side initially who were trying to make the argument of validation study, which I think there's something to
That's
that.
The first thing I was gonna say, like science does that all the time, but
they do it when there's not consensus. There is they do it when there's not.
Everybody
consensus.
already knows this. Why would
everybody already knows that? That's one. But also his statistical framework in which he did it with his confidence intervals was like high school level. And again, I'm not knocking validation studies. My master's work was a validation study. But all that to kind of again square the circle is at this point, if she were to produce anything, it needs to be she's going to be under scrutiny her entire career now. It's going to be like if she had done this weeks ago, if she was going to like try to put something together and like do this, the window's passed for her to get out of this, in my opinion.
I also wonder if there's two different things going on here, which is one, you are a legitimate practitioner, but a dumbass, versus you're a con artist. And I feel like there are different groups are going to be mad at a different thing. So it might heal her for one, but not the other. Because somebody compared her to, they're like, oh, she's the female Jordan Peterson. Like she's Jordan Peterson spelled with a Y instead of an A. I don't think many people question Jordan Peterson's.
Yeah, he's credentialed. He's got his shit.
He's credentialed, and right. So that would almost be an insult to Jordan Peterson. But the point being, people absolutely will call Jordan Peterson a moron. They'll say that he's extending himself way beyond his expertise. They'll also question the nature of his expertise, because there's other psychologists and psychiatrists who are like, no, the things that Jordan Peterson thinks, even in his field of expertise, is some dumb bullshit. But nobody is saying that he's like a con. Well, nobody's saying that he's a con artist with respect to his credentials in his field. They might say he's a con artist with respect to like selling books or, whatever else. So I feel like those are just two different groups judging for two different things that maybe there's overlap. But to Josh's point, if she put out her dissertation, the people who are saying she's a con artist would be quieter about that and would shift to saying that she's a dumbass.
Fair.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Because people it would, instead of losing like 50%, of her potential, customers, she looks like, maybe like
25, yeah, or whatever.
30,
Yeah.
like but it's just crazy because I can just kind of see like the blueprint and of using like social media star power to get to funnel in customers. It's just unfortunate that she's kind of grifting her actual knowledge and credentials to provide an expert opinion around certain things. Because I mean, basically, we could do the same shit.
Hey, Dr. Overgold at your service, motherfucker. I can do this shit for sure.
Problems. I can get you that girl. I can get you that guy. Shoot, let me know what you want.
Bro, every week we break down, emotional intelligence, and you know what I'm saying. You gotta heal. It really is a life coach podcast. We be giving advice. It's not medical advice, but it's definitely learned real experience. Down home, Southern cooked knowledge about how to maintain healthy relationships. But yeah, we don't have doctors in that shit.
We are not for Patreon.
That's what I'm saying. But I think I'd add though, or what I would love to see is someone who is a psychologist or a psychiatrist walk through, like, cool. Let's say she's a con artist. Let's say she's bullshitting on her degrees. Let's say she's lying. Let's say she's grifting. Let's say she's providing subpar service to, poor folks that isn't really good or effective. But to the pivot that she's made, which is, okay, well, hold on. Let's just say I am a con artist. Let's say it's Miss Cheyenne Bryant. All right. I'm not a doctor, but listen to what I'm saying. In the same way that Mark and FD ask you to just listen to what they're saying. My suspicion is that a lot of the shit that she says on podcasts is isn't well founded and is bullshit as well. That it's this, and I think Josh, you pointed to this last time, that she has some red pillish, gender essentialist kind of takes around what men and women are and should and shouldn't be and shit like that. So I'd love to see not just a researcher or a journalist look at the credentials, but somebody go like, no, this thing that she said on Cam Newton, this isn't supported by the evidence. This is kind of bullshit. No psychologist would actually recommend this intervention. This is like, I want to see that breakdown because I think that's maybe more useful. Yeah. Or not to make it a competition, but I would just love to see people go like, actually, the things that she's saying measured for their merit are bullshit.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I did find the video where she said, where she did like state, all of my work is live. We got to get through a little bit of rigmarole first.
Yeah, easy. We got movie magic.
His word, my sheep will know my voice, even the sheep in wolf clothing. That is not my battle.
Well, with the questions that are out there, why not provide the proof of your degree? Why not?
Well, a couple of things, right? I have multiple degrees. And my thing is that my proof isn't something that I have to prove to individuals. My proof is already within my credentials, my degrees, and also more than just my titles. It's in how effective I've been. All of my sessions have been live for the most part. My sessions with Nick Cannon, Cam Newton, Shannon Sharp, B. Simone, they have all been for the world to see, right? So no one knew who Dr. Bryant was prior to seeing all of my sessions that were live. And they deemed it, as well as I did before they did it, they can't validate me, I validated myself. They deemed it as my work being effective. I am effective at what I do. I'm educated and I'm successful in my lane. And I'll land on this. I created my own lane. And so a lot of times, Marissa, when people...
That was pretty much it.
Yeah. Because I haven't actually listened to like the full, Cam Newton and like Shannon Sharp and whatever things. When you were listening to him, did it feel like, no, this is just two people bullshitting about the world? Or did it feel like there was... Because I've definitely seen some clips where I was like, she's doing something. Like the Cam Newton thing where she goes, hey, you're actually not taking your time in your relationships. You're building broken homes. This is ineffective for these reasons. That to me feels, and I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a life coach either. That to me feels like doing some kind of work with a person. But I didn't watch the whole thing to see whether or not it's mostly not that.
Brother, I didn't watch all of them shits,
or just more, whatever. Yeah,
I watched a bit of it. But I can tell you right now, my boy, that I don't think any credentialed, licensed therapist, doctor, or hell, even a licensed life coach will consider those actual sessions to pivot to show us like your work that you've done. Like, yeah, like she was like, oh yes, you tell me about your family. Oh yes, you are creating broken homes. Like, hell, these are the same conversations I have me and some of my homeboys have. Like, I don't know if it's a full on. I mean, but hey, she doesn't need us to credit her and validate her herself, my nigga. What does it?
Yeah, she validated herself to herself. She investigated the crime and found that there was no evidence of malfeasance. So there will be no charges.
But yeah, I mean, I found that very odd. I found that
it's very odd. It's very odd. I'm totally with the conclusion. I'm just like, okay, maybe let me ask the question. Do you think that do you think that there is a thing that she could have done in the form of content where she would say, hey, you've seen me do my work, you've seen me express my expertise in small ways as a session where you would be like, okay, that is fair enough?
I've seen therapists do that. I've seen real therapists on like televised their sessions. Like, damn, there was this black guy. He was on Vice. I forget his name, but I wanted to like go see him so bad. Like, this is before I ever like got into like real like therapy. Before I ever got like a therapist, I wanted to like see him. Like, so I was like, oh man, I want him to be my therapist. I actually like looked him up. $200 a session. But anyway, but that brother, like he's also accredited. Like you can see like his degrees and shit. But like he did like actual sessions for content, like for Vice or something like that. And then who else? Ayanla Van Zant. Fix My Life for Ayanla. I don't think she running around calling herself a doctor, but hell, she on TLC doing the same shit that Cheyenne Bryant doing.
Yeah, isn't she the one that did the DMX him and his son thing? Okay, yeah. Is she legitimate?
I ain't never heard Ayanla say she was a doctor or something like that. But I don't know.
Yeah, that helps. I mean, I don't know. The bar is kind of in hell with that.
Life coach and spiritual teacher.
Okay. Well, yeah, I don't know. That feels like, I don't know. Sometimes it feels like, well, you're not grifting if you don't say that, if you admit that you don't know what you're doing, kind of a thing. It's like, I guess, I don't know. But yeah,
she does have a psychology degree.
Okay, well there you go. Yeah. But yeah, that was a good answer to my question, Josh. So yeah, fair. Anything else on Cheyenne Bryant? Anything else we haven't covered?
Shout out to that Black Queen, man. You know what I'm saying?
Somebody's got to do it.
You know, hey, I wouldn't go to her.
But look, and neither should you, neither should anybody else. But look, if you must, you know what I mean? If you've got enough for a KFC family meal, I think you can probably grab a little coach session from her real quick. So,
hey, man, women are like this, men are like that. Shout out.
Average at best.
Who knows?
Ayanla's degree in psychology looks fake. I'm sorry.
There you go. Yeah, look, I was just saying some of the stuff that I've seen from her, I was like, this seems a little bit bullshitty. So see, I feel like I feel like that's the same playbook. The playbook of being like, no. I'm not a doctor. I've got a PhD. No. Not a PhD. It's an honorary PhD. No. I'm not a psychologist. I'm a life coach. Like there's this rolling back of like, cool, I'm not going to commit to the thing. So you can't ever call me a grifter because I'm a life coach, in which there's no peak body that regulates that. Like you can just, have a TV show and, talk to people with a fake degree and say you're a spiritual advisor,
Hell yeah.
All respect to her, because I'm just going off what Alvin just said. So I don't know. He's my primary source.
Oh, I found it. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it was on Vice TV. The show was actually called The Therapist with Dr. Siri Satnam Singh.
Siri Satnam Singh.
Cause he had
okay.
Freddie Gibbs, Waka Flocka. Yeah, because he was like interviewing her, doing that with celebrities.
What's the background of that name? That's interesting.
So, oh my gosh.
Because I thought it was Thai at first. It kind of sounded like a Thai name, and then I was like, well, no, he's black. I guess you could be black and Thai. I don't know.
It's not Thai. It's oh damn. Because there's a lot of people like in the spiritual like healing space that kind of like has those similar names. I just cannot remember the origin of it. Say my
is it from is it from his own ethnic background, or is he taking on a new name as part of
name
practice? Okay,
I think he's taking on a new name. I can't
because it sounds like Taiwanese or some Tibetan type shit. Is kind of it sounds Asian. Let me see. Finland, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, anyway.
But that would be the best example of somebody doing it for profit. Well, like for profit and for content that I would think.
Okay, I feel you. And yeah, I'm seeing he's a dynamic lecturer on Eastern spiritual philosophies and a master teacher of yoga. So, okay, yeah. New name. Okay. Do we want to talk about porn is infidelity? Let's see if there's anything in the chat that's left.
I felt like that shit was just so reductive.
Yeah, okay. I'll play the video for context, which apparently, as many things are, is probably some fake shit. Let's see. Is Baby Chief do it good, by the way? Because I opened up a tab, but then I closed it down. But I'll look up his music later. He's bad, Alvin. You said. Thought I saw you shake your head. Let's see.
I think he muted. So like he did.
Okay.
Yeah, I was. Okay. But I didn't say anything about whoever Eddie was talking about.
Okay. All right. Let's see.
Do you watch?
Yes. I think like a week ago.
Oh,
I'm not like a
week ago? A week?
Yeah, or something.
Or something?
It's not something out there, but what do you think it was?
Oh, I don't like this question anymore.
It wasn't really I wouldn't say there's a category. There's just on the internet.
Ouch.
For real?
Dead serious. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
This is
yeah, that's a huge whoa.
What do I do that annoys the hell out of you?
What?
Yeah, there you go. That's gonna
Shit, sorry.
Do you watch?
Yes. Yeah, there you go. That's gonna be on the internet now.
Do you think our life is getting better or worse?
Better?
After this, I don't know.
Maybe. Worse then.
We've got some stuff to talk about.
That's true. That's true.
Like what? What's the most pressing thing?
You watch?
Yeah, I do.
That's really weird. I don't like it.
Okay. You also called it weird.
It's not weird, it's gross and it's dehumanizing.
And you called it gross and dehumanizing.
Okay.
Rage fuel.
And then she confesses at the end that she's been cheating on him for months and is in a whole ass other relationship. I need to see that video because I did see that, but I'm like, where I want that source. Though it doesn't, I mean, it's irrelevant to the broad argument, but it is maybe like indicative of, oh, here's this is the type of person that makes this argument. Maybe. And there was take some thoughts in the meantime.
I really don't even want to give too much time to this, honestly. Because I just feel like this conversation is just so reductive. We kind of giving light to bullshit. Because this is just some bullshit. Like, if you don't like porn, that's fine. But, like, nigga, find you somebody else that don't like porn. But, like, because I don't, like, if... I have to talk. It's a podcast.
Oh, you don't have to, because I can say my,
I guess
you to disagree with.
I just finished with this piece, and maybe I have something else to say, but I just find it like incredibly like interesting, the dynamic and the duality between a man consuming porn versus the people that make the porn and put the content out there. So it's like, on one hand, it's okay to support the sex work. On the other hand, it's not okay to consume it. And I'm not talking about like, but like you say, for instance, like, like it's everywhere, like OF content creators, like they're doing this of their own volition. But like as a man, if you consume it, like you're disgusting, you're dehumanizing this person who was selling the good. But so you can support one, but the other one is disgusting and for whatever like moral puritanical reasons that you might think that you have, even though she's is allegedly been cheating on this dude. But we haven't seen the end of the video to actually verify that. Even if this is real,
Look, their acting is pretty good, and because I'm definitely Mr. This is fake, this is a skit, and I feel like I have a pretty good radar for this shit. But their acting seems pretty fucking good to me. But maybe they're just good actors. I don't know.
I mean, I hope it's not real, but it's like Jesus.
I think that
I don't think it's a skit. I don't necessarily think it's a skit. I think people go on cut videos with an agenda and they're saying like, I'm finna go viral and say this thing. I don't necessarily think that means like, I can very casually say, hey man, I really think that fucking Flavor Flav is the greatest rapper of all time on this podcast and make that sound natural as fuck for clicks and like. I think that's more. I think
there's a difference between like it's quite easy to make a bullshit take and not have a particularly good and not be particularly good at acting. I think what they're doing that to me signals this is at least that they actually are dating and actually did have some kind of relationship, even if they're hamming it up for the purposes of content, is that her response of like her held back of like, oh, that is kind of weird, but I kind of don't want to blow up about it. And his like, oh shit, you just call that weird. Are we good? Or are we not? But we're kind of on camera. To me, all felt very naturalistic and authentic. To me, I think that people struggle to do that.
I can do that shit easy. I do it on here.
I'd love to see
once a month. Yeah, I can tell you. I can go and tell you exactly the point when I did it on here.
Okay, yeah, tell me.
I'll tell you later because I don't know my secrets.
It's another magic. Oh yeah, because if you have and I didn't realize it, then now I got to question my my acting radar and also probably got to raise your pay. Honestly, I feel like for a conversation like this though, there's like, I just think there's a lot more to this than what you've just said, Josh. Like,
I'm sure there is.
So one, I think somebody else made the point in here, which is that we live in a society thing. I think that you can say that the consumption of a thing, and I've moved on this one because I think I agreed with the like, wait, sex work is real work, but fucking a sex worker is bad. That's the contradiction. But I think the Nordic model, I think is Nordic, but where countries say it's illegal to purchase sex, but it's not illegal to sell it, comes from the idea that there's only one victim in that transaction. And so you don't criminalize the worker, you criminalize the person who's consuming. I'm not saying that I agree with that, but I'm just saying I don't think it's a contradiction to come from that stance. Again, I'm not saying I agree with that stance, just that I don't think it's a hypocritical one. And so if you go, hey, like, you're bad for buying a cell phone that was made using a chip manufacturer that used sweatshop labor somewhere in Taiwan or whatever. I'm just made up a thing. And also saying that those Taiwanese workers aren't doing something bad and that they are workers who deserve rights and they maybe even deserve to be lifted up as the backbone of our technological wonderment. Those two things aren't in opposition to me. There's a lot of other points, but I'm just laying that one down in address to this concept. But I got a whole bunch of other shit that I would want to get into as well. Yeah, same as the drug game, exactly. But drug game is kind of the opposite one, but same sort of idea.
So let me ask this question, because I wasn't clear from this clip. Are we because this seemed less about infidelity and more about it being weird and dehumanizing. So I disagree, but I can see an argument for porn consumption being dehumanizing to the actors and actresses. And I can see an argument for people thinking it's weird. And to Josh's point, cool, just find your person, whatever. We all do things that somebody thinks is weird, in that kind of situation. And I think that if you think it's dehumanizing, just steer away from people that you think are engaging in dehumanizing behavior based on your opinion. Cool. I think that's a different thing than it being infidelity, which I'm more staunchly against. And I think that's a less nuanced conversation than somebody engaging in behavior that somebody else thinks is weird and dehumanizing. That I think is a conversation I think that is again, less clickbaity, less I'm trying to get viral kind of situation, because that seems
so just
very
to answer
fair.
the question,
I disagree, but it's fair.
But it's just to answer the question, I think that this initial clip wavers between the two, and it's kind of sparked both things. But I agree, and you know me, I love to separate what are we actually talking about, and let's not flip flop between two different points while we're making the same thing. I think there's a group of people that are going, this is bad because it's infidelity. You're cheating on your partner, and then there's a group of people who are saying, this is dehumanizing, and the consumption of porn is an unethical behavior rooted in weird, fucked up views about women or dehumanization, or it creates ideas in your head about women and youth and beauty and blah 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 that are fucked up. But also, to your point, people, as they're making each of those different arguments, are flipping between the two. So like people who she said it's unethical, or that at least in this clip, people are responding back to this with, but you can't control your partner's sexual desire. And that's a different thing. That's the other camp. So I think they're two things, but people are mixing them up, is just the context that I'm giving in the discourse.
Gotcha. Thank you.
I think so now to my stance, I disagree with both of y'all on both of these fronts. I think that they're both a little bit, I think they're both nuanced. The idea that porn is infidelity totally seems fair to me. I'm not, but I think I fall more in the camp of what y'all said initially, which is, if you think porn is infidelity, pick someone who agrees with that. But I think that thinking that is totally fine and makes perfect fucking sense to me. And then on the dehumanization thing, well, yeah, I've already said my piece on that for the most part.
I do believe that porn, of course, can be very much so dehumanizing. A lot of it is. There's also a lot of porn that ain't.
Yeah.
And with porn being in respects to cheating, like being direct infidelity, there has to be like an addiction, or like there's got to be like a very high ceiling for that to cross a line of like, oh my God, my partner's cheating on me. Like, I just disagree. We've had this conversation before, because it's like, and like we've gone in the weeds of the conversation, like, the nuances of it and whatnot. And it just kind of got to a point where I'm like, well, damn, if I'm in a relationship and I fuck around and have a wet dream with somebody that's not my partner, then by that logic, I would have cheated on you. I would have been unfaithful. Like, I mean,
I think it all comes down to what you can control. So it's like, if a woman with a fat ass walks past while you happen to be in a relationship, and you notice that fat ass and you feel something, and even your girl notices, you quickly respond to that, you don't necessarily have complete control about that. If you rubberneck, if you go talk to that woman, if you say, hey, have a nice day, now you're making a set of like explicit decisions. And I think that infidelity is all about what you decide to do. So I feel like there's a clear line. It's not an arbitrary one. And I agree there's some spectrum shit, but I think the clear line is you decided to take an action. Nobody decides to have a wet dream.
Okay, cool. I can see that point. I'm still thinking about like the last time we talked about it. But hey, I can see that point. Hey, sure. As far as a wet dream, hey, can't help that. All right.
No, can't control it.
If you got somebody that's goddamn that staunchly like, oh my God, if you're watching porn, if you fuck around and like, if she knew what your dreams are, you just couldn't help, you just kept having wet dreams with somebody else, they gonna have a problem with that shit. But hey,
look, if you keep having some wet dreams about the same, like, look, if my girl if I somehow found out that she was always having the same wet dream about the same real life person, me personally, yeah, I'm gonna have an issue with that. I'm not saying that she did anything wrong, but I'm gonna have an issue with that.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. I think you might too.
Yeah, I would.
If she was like, sorry, Josh, I love you so much, but I've been having dreams about Eddie. It doesn't mean anything. I can't control it.
I don't want to know.
Exactly.
Does he touch you better than me?
That's what I'm. Yeah.
I will appear that girl dreams and just start singing with the rain.
I think from my perspective, again, super willing to hear some arguments, even though I disagree on porn innately being dehumanizing and innately being associated with like a viewer being weird. I disagree, but arguments on that side I think would be very compelling. like super
I'm in the
compelling.
same place as you. Like I don't agree, but I'm
I can come over
very,
with a
very
lot.
open. Yeah.
The cheating one. I think that's me making an ideological stance. I think I have a very clear idea of what I consider cheating, and it just doesn't, you know, it's outside of that Overton window. So, and again, it's fairly ideological.
Meaning, like, is like an axiom as opposed to a constructed set of things, or what do you mean by that?
Yeah, like it's this is not a research back opinion. This is not in the psychology of what cheating is and like all this what you call it. Just like
what cheating is for you.
I think this is cheating, and I don't think that is cheating kind of situation.
Okay, because and look, I think that the core question is, because I don't necessarily think this is cheating for me, but the way that I'm approaching this is cheating is up to the individual to decide. And so, there are people who might not consider hand holding to be cheating. They might consider certain other things to be cheating or not cheating. But the thing that we go is it acceptable that you think that? Like if my homeboy had a girl who said, "Hey, you talking to your female coworkers is cheating," I would go, "She's an abuser. Get rid of her." But if she says, "Hey, holding hands with other women is cheating," I'd be like, "Okay, cool. That's fair enough. That's a conversation for y'all to have, but she's well within reason." For you, Alvin, is this like I don't consider it cheating. And I think it's insane for anybody, insane controlling or something for anybody else to claim that it is cheating.
I'm much closer to there.
Cool. I thought so, but
I think, but it's also one of those things where it's like, I think a lot of things that people deal with in relationships that are not directly harmful are insane and all that kind of stuff. Like, the way, okay, so I'll give an example. I have coworkers that don't eat at work, because if they eat too much at work, when they go home, they won't be able to eat dinner like a lot. And their like significant others have threatened to stop cooking if they just don't eat it, even if they like pack leftovers, even if they do this kind of thing. And I think that that's like bullshit. So I think there's a lot. Yeah. So I think there are things that I think are, like that regular people do that I think are just like bullshit from that perspective. So I just want to give a gauge on what my bar is for like bullshit, and like what you call it. It doesn't have to be like the world's worst thing. It doesn't have to be like the most demonizing thing ever. It can be something that most people think is very benign, and I'm just like, that's a red flag for me. This leans more toward that level of I think that's bullshit than something like what I would consider directly abusive.
And I if I'm understanding where you've landed at, which is about what I had in mind to begin with, I think the strongest version of my stance is something like, I don't think that this is any more crazy than anything else people say when it comes to monogamy, which which might bridge the gap between where I'm at and where you are, Alvin, because you're like, there's a lot of things that people do in monogamy that are kind of insane. And I would probably agree. I think that this just falls in the same vein as like, if your wife says, don't go to a strip club, I feel like that's a very reasonable thing to say that gets, people look at you crazy. Like, oh my God, like, why are you controlling your husband? He's allowed to like look at and touch other naked women before he gets married to you. It's like, no, that's fucking insane, actually. Or sorry, not that it's insane. It's reasonable that a person doesn't want that. And I feel like this porn kind of thing falls in the same category. Or like, when people say like, oh, is this a body or whatever, and it's like you're doing trapeze art or whatever with your male bestie. It's like, yeah, I understand a person looking at it a little bit like, yeah, okay.
Yeah. I think at the end of the day, it's teach their own. If that's your that's your opinion. Because I mean, ultimately, like I agree with that one like 100%. And I mean, at the same time, I guess you also, Eddie, because like, if that's what you think, who am I to say, no, that's not reasonable. Like, if that's your boundary, if that's your line, fine. I just have a thing of, don't try to like demonize other people because you have your boundary, like you have your opinion. Because at the end of the day, that's your opinion. Because if I've dated plenty of girls. I've dated plenty of girls. Not one of them has ever had a problem with like some porn. Mind you, I'm not like a porn addict. I ain't just, just turning the shit on every night and nothing like that.
It'd be
But
on the
it's like,
TV, but yeah.
sometimes like, oh yeah, sometimes. I do too sometimes. Strip club.
Yeah.
A lot of them want to go to the strip club more than I want to fucking go. Like they want to go together. I wouldn't be like, and it's like, if we were to go together, she wouldn't think I was cheating. Or if I were to go by myself, oh man, me and the boys, like there was a strip club, it was okay. It was all right.
And same for her.
It's like she would be getting danced on. I've had girls go to a strip club without me and then girls dancing on them. I didn't consider that cheating. It's just like, hey, we understand the culture. We don't qualify that as cheating. So I just don't like the fact that sometimes people try to push their things off on other people who are.
Can I ask a couple? Sorry. Do I want to make a point or do I want to ask a question? Okay, let me just ask one clarifying question, and then I'll maybe make a point depending on what you say. Thoughts and feelings on your girl going to male strippers who do full nudity.
What was the question?
Thoughts and feelings on your girl is, a woman that you're in a relationship with going to male strippers who do full frontal nudity.
Yeah, not a fan.
Okay. In a way that's like, yeah, can you say more on that, or if it's any different than? But it's fine.
Not a fan, but I ain't about to just like blow up the spot, like so that might not be a hill I'm trying to die on. But I wouldn't like consider like, oh man, you cheated on me, unless she put that dick in her mouth and like that dick was just all up in like what I'm saying. Unless they actually did some real fucking in there, some shit.
Okay. So what's the cutoff of like
get crossed too? Because like the dynamic between like men and women, like the view is a bit different too. That threat. We talk about the imminent threat of a man sometimes.
Okay, no, say more. Yeah, tell me more about the differences or like what the lines are. Just
So she was like superly like engaged, riding him on the floor, riding face. That'd be a bit much. She was just there throwing dollars like, oh, and he's just like doing what male strippers do. Like, okay, whatever. I'm not about to die on that hill, but like there's a line. Just like the same way I'm sure there will be a line with me going to the strip club.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, because I feel like that gives something for me to kind of get purchased on, because I'm like, there's levels of what you can do at a strip club. And so I'm like, there's levels of touch, different laws in different states. And so it's like, I guess if a male stripper who's not wearing bottoms is dancing on her to where his genitals are touching on her or her clothes in the way that I assume a female stripper who isn't wearing bottoms might also be touching on a client, is that like, yeah, okay, cool, that's fair. Like I do that, you do that, cool, no stress? Or is it like it's different or anything like that?
It's a little different.
Okay.
It's a little different.
Okay. Talk to me.
But again, like, because it's like certain hills that I'm just not about to die on.
So you would be like, yeah, it's a little bit different, but I'll let it ride.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, as long as you keep that as classy as it can be in a strip club, you know what I mean? Because I mean, like, I'm not like, I don't want to be like a hypocrite, like in my relationship. Because like, it's a lot of things where, okay, well, she gives me the liberty to do certain things that might be, if she gives me the liberty to do certain things, I will want to return that favor within like my bounds of like comfortability.
No, that's fair. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, so the point that I was gonna kind of get at is, I think it's not just the demonization thing. I feel like there's a sense that like we'll say, oh, well, then just find somebody who wants that. But that ignores the cultural context of what's considered to be normal. And I do think that there's this push that like women are in a situation where they're not allowed to be like, hey, I actually am not comfortable with you being naked, having a naked woman around you at all. Like that they're not cool. They don't get it if they do that sort of stuff, as opposed to going like, no, that's a neutral thing that a person can decide one way or the other. So I feel like you're presenting it as if women have a clean choice, when I feel like they kind of don't. Like there's shame around being like, men just watch porn. So you don't have the right to make any kind of commentary on it. So it's like, yeah, either you have to fight hard and kind of demonize, or you have to accept it. There's not this like, oh, you watch porn? Cool. That's not cool for me. No stress. That's totally fine. I'm gonna find somebody else. I feel like there's not much space for that.
Yeah. I will say, and I know it doesn't fit directly with your overall point, but for that specific example, using strip clubs as an example to illustrate that point, I've 100% had multiple women that I've been with that said like going to strip clubs is a deal breaker for me. And I've definitely been like, and people supported that, and everybody was like, yeah, man, like don't go to strip clubs. And I've been like, cool.
Yeah. Okay. So
I'm gonna go to
look,
strip clubs.
I don't disagree that is the case.
Like going to the strip. I'm sorry, but mind you, if my girl, I'm not comfortable with you going to the strip club, and I could understand that too. Yeah. I could understand that more than just watching porn.
Yeah. I think it's a line. I think but I do want you to know that I understand that you're making a larger point. I'm just saying that like the validity of that point is different when you pick a different
and one that's fair, though I still kind of disagree with the point that you've just made. Like I think that's a good additional context, but even that one point that I'm making is not that no woman ever feels free to express discomfort, but that there is a cultural context where women are shamed for expressing that. It might both of those things might be true.
Yeah.
I'm saying also to this point as well.
Yeah.
We're all from Atlanta, which I think also a little bit shades this a bit. So
I would argue that only one of us is from Atlanta. But I will say
you would be wrong. You would be wrong. At least two of us.
I'm pretty
We've
sure.
had this conversation. What do we
Yeah, and the conversation is I think you're from unincorporated Fulton County. But I will say that my point in bringing that up,
we gotta run that back again. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I think that what you're giving is anecdotal evidence utilizing that specific example, and I was providing additional anecdotal evidence to say that the underlying undertone of my anecdotal evidence is that like I don't think that your anecdotal evidence is better than my anecdotal evidence. I think we're both talking out of our ass from that perspective based on some experiences that we may have had or experiences of people in our like immediate circle. To your point, it may be the Atlanta/Metro Atlanta bias from that perspective, coloring both of our perspectives. But my undertone, like legitimately, is that like I have anecdotes and you have anecdotes for that specific example, even though I think you're larger.
But are you saying that one precludes the other? Because I'm saying both of the things that we've experienced are things that have happened, and both of them are operating in the ecosystem.
That's fair. Okay, never mind.
Okay, yeah. Like there is a pressure, but there also is some freedom, and because there's other forces at play, I'm saying the force that I'm saying does exist at some significant level, unless you're arguing that it doesn't, which your anecdote doesn't establish. Though I think your anecdote is true, yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. So all that is yeah. There is definitely motherfuckers who act like their wife is crazy for being like, I don't want you to go to, and I feel like the porn shit is the same thing as that. But that's it. Do we want to talk? Because I think we've exhausted the infidelity side of it. Do we have any takes on the dehumanizing nature of it? Like fuck the infidelity shit for a bit. Like, do we think that there's an issue with the consumption of porn at all? Is there some porn that's more ethical than others? Because there's the female-led studios that, all the directors and the actors, and they've got, coordinators and stuff like that. There's the OnlyFans thing where it's like you kind of work for yourself, but you're sort of a gig worker. Then there's the larger economic like situation, which is why are women in a position where that is a tool to make money, or that they have to make money, or what, I'm just throwing out talking points that I don't necessarily have, but
I like the idea of ethical porn.
It's rustic,
organic,
locally sourced.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Good for the environment porn. I love that.
Yeah, very sustainable, recyclable porn.
Yes, heals the ozone.
They use every part of the buffalo.
I don't know, man. It's a very nuanced conversation.
Yeah, what's good, Mo? Thank you again for having had us.
Yes, non-GMO. I mean, there's a lot of questions you threw out there, but I guess like yes, okay. So to answer like this, the basic one, absolutely. Like porn can very much so be dehumanizing, degrading, all that stuff. Like we've all seen that sort of porn, you know. So absolutely, to answer the question, absolutely. But I think also people do have this lens of that's what all porn looks like. Like that's just you do pornography, like that's just it. Like this is just like that's just what it all looks like. It shouldn't be made, it shouldn't be consumed. They're all slaves. They're all in danger. Every single one of them. Like,
nah, the original sweatshop.
Yeah. I mean, but I don't know, bro. I feel like nowadays, especially like the social media girls, like even comedians, man, so many of them like start OnlyFans accounts. It's so many girls that have like an OnlyFans account. And like Instagram is like a direct pipeline to them. Like it got to the point where I can tell. I was like, oh yeah, she make content.
Yeah, like, you can tell from the video, like, oh, okay, people are about to check. This is meant to make me go check the bio to see if there's a chili hot pepper link.
Yep, big facts. So I don't know, man. Like if they doing it for themselves, by themselves, of their own volition, hey, you know, you got to have a problem with the woman that's doing it. I feel like at that point, if you have a problem with porn itself.
Do you think, yeah, because I think I probably lean towards the direction of like, it seems like OnlyFans creators are less exploited than legacy porn creators or legacy porn actors. It would be my guess. I don't know the background shit of it, and I know that there's still pimps in that mix where they're like they're giving the impression that they're like, oh, I'm just, I decided to do OnlyFans, but it's like they have a manager, they have somebody who's actually, it is a whole stable of people, and they go to a different house to record it, and people there's a machine to it, 100%. Like when you look at the collabs and shit like that, it's like, okay, this guy is experienced and he's reaching out to all these different creators to like do collabs, and so we get the sense that it's like, oh, she's in charge, but not really. But to your point, Josh, it does feel like the OnlyFans shit seems less unethical than like porn of the 2000s and porn of the 1990s and 2010s stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, yeah, more ethical. My fault. I added too many double negatives.
Yeah. So I mean, and then I mean, hell, you got solo amateur porn. I don't know, shit. They just in the bathroom popping it. But I mean, I guess that could be the same thing. But hell, they post that shit on like Pornhub, whatever else. Reddit.
Yeah, couples is different, where it's like y'all are in a relationship. Yeah, like I think that's probably the highest tier, where it's like this creator works on themselves, gig style, not for a studio, and they're having sex with people that they would have sex with anyway. But I think once you add into the rotation that these people are having sex with people they don't want to be having sex with, then it gets a little bit more. Again, I'm not saying that I disagree with y'all, but like, then I'm a little bit more open to the convo of like, there's economic pressure there. Like, when it's like when fucking is your job and you don't particularly like your job.
Oh man, I mean, like, shit, join the club.
Yeah,
like shit.
I think that's the point.
Literally everybody. If you're not being,
maybe,
you know what I'm saying. But yeah,
I think that's why I would say porn dehumanization and like pressures is, the arguments are always going to have some validity for me, is because I'm thinking now of that in the context of, and I think somebody said it, just general economic and patriarchal conditions. So therefore, within that framework, yeah, because generally what we all do is, to some level, based on the exploitation of our resources and our labor, and we live in a patriarchal system that allows people with patriarchal privilege to exploit others that do not have it. So I 100% think that because that is just pervasive in society, that it would it would definitely be a factor in porn. And because to steal Eddie's phrase, with the legacy porn situation, I think there was an outsized level of being able to utilize economic clout to oppress actors and actresses, especially actresses, and also a patriarchal vibe that allowed that to like run rampant in a way that you didn't typically have it. And also to Eddie's point, I think that OnlyFans has the veneer of eliminating that, and I think it lessens it, but I don't think it eliminates it. So I think that those dehumanizing aspects are very clear and common. I think that for me, it becomes a philosophical argument because it's like, where do you draw the line on what you participate in how you participate in stuff in a capitalistic society, right? Like, where do you draw the line from that perspective? And I think it's 100% fair to draw the line at porn, but it's like, I'm wearing Nike right now. I have a phone that, people potentially, lost their lives in the Congo to get the rare earth minerals to do, like, that kind of shit. So it's like, where do you draw the line? But all that being said, I think porn is a fairly easy place to draw the line if that's how you feel about it. So I think those arguments are super valid.
Yeah, because when it comes to drawing the line, because like the coltan mines thing, like that's a talking point that alt-right Andy would bring up all the time. Anytime sort of any critical harm reduction under capitalism conversation would come up, he'd be like, man, fuck that, because we all got slave phones. And it's like, yeah, okay, but you can draw the line somewhere. You can say like, oh, yeah, both things are bad, and which things do we want to pick? And let's have a conversation. But I think people get all defensive.
Everybody has to pick their line, right? Because everything we do is so entrenched in like capitalism. I think everybody has to find ways to find their little wins where they can.
And the thing
it's
that
harm.
I would add is something that you pointed out previously, that you often, like a phrase that you often use is like protected class. And I think we can go like all workers are exploited. And then I don't mean that in like the capital M Marxist way, but just like that all workers are in some way done wrong in certain situations. But then if the nature of your work is sexually intimate, then then that becomes something more heinous. You know what I'm saying? Like if I have to type at a computer all day and I really don't want to, and gosh, it's so boring, that does suck. And that is, I'm exploited by like the nature of the system around me, that there's not enough welfare and social safety net for me to fall back on. So I have to work more hours, despite the fact that my work causes more productivity and wealth to be generated than ever before historically. But I still have to work this crazy 40 hours typing at a computer instead of being able to relax. All right, cool. If I'm working, digging ditches, like fucking, working on a jackhammer and it's fucking up my back and I'm pushing 40 and I got sciatica, I think that's worse. If the thing that I have to do is I got to suck an old man's dick who I don't like, and that's my job, I think that we can say that like some versions of not doing shit that you want to do are different than other ones. And I think we all kind of understand that. So it's like, yeah, this is a protected class of thing. Like, yeah, sex work is real work in the sense that those workers need the protections of all workers. But I think then you got to add like, no, maybe they need some extra protections, because it's like the nature of that work it's not the same as the nature of all work, I think.
Yeah. And the ways where you see it where it's less exploitative are when like the government like has some level of oversight over it. So like that's why like it's heavily regulated in like Amsterdam or the Bunny Ranch like in like Nevada, because there's some level of legal prostitution that happens out there when you can, and that was even exposed as like having very abusive practices over time. But the research is very clear that when it's a bit more out in the open and it's regulated, that's when like people are less exploited from a direct perspective. But then it doesn't address at all the aspect of like, to your point, now I have to do something that is especially, considered much more personal and much more intimate than just like, I don't feel like typing on this keyboard as a part of a cog in the capitalistic wheel. Now I have to do that for earnings to fit within this system. And I don't think we have any good way to control for that, which is why I think the arguments for the dehumanization aspect of porn is that's a tough one, man. Like
that's what and I think that's what I'm getting at, because
that's
I'm
tough.
Like, if I show up to my job and I go, hey, I don't feel like typing, and they say you're fired, and I go, okay, all right, I'll type. if you show up to your job and go, actually, I really would prefer not to do an anal scene today. Actually, I really find this particular actor really quite gross, and I don't want to suck his dick and have him come in my face today. I just don't feel like it. Okay, cool. We'll find somebody else. Have a good day. You're blackballed in the industry. We're not going to collab with you anymore. It's like, that's a different thing that's happening to your brain than, I don't feel like typing. So, yeah. And but I do think that it can be better regulated, where you go like, okay, cool, we can, and they have, this is the shit that comes out of all sort of like worker organization shit in other industries. The construction world, for instance, does a lot of that stuff where they go, there's limitations on the number of hours that you can do, or if you have an injury or something legitimate, they go, you can call out and say that you're not going to work today, and we have to legally prove that we are not going to be punitive against you for this. All kinds of different shit like that. Working hours, age limits, minimum wages, like all that kinds of stuff. Where it's like, no, OnlyFans is like, cool, you're 18, fuck it. There's no rules around regulating whether or not you can try this or whether or not you've decided, does this really work for me? So, yeah.
Hey, protect the sex workers. Give them benefits.
Yeah. Give them benefits. That's what I'm saying.
Regulation.
Got to be feeding them.
I'm saying, I mean that sarcastically. Hey.
No, tongue in cheek, but like, seriously. So look, with that. Sorry to my sex worker folks follow, but I thought it was funny. Yeah, look, if you turn up to a life coaching session or a therapy session and you see a camera, 2 podcast mics, and a iced out dock chain on your therapist practitioner, you might be seeing a red flag. But at the same time, if you went to Argosy University but cannot produce your dissertation, it might be you that's waving the red flag. It's been Waving the Red Flag podcast. It's been your boy Eddie. It's been Josh. It's been Alvin. Cop Our Card Games. It's a red flag. And in all seriousness, as well as any of the toys from the range at Normal that we just got an affiliate link with, such as the Quinn toy, you get 15% off on that store on their whole range of lubricants, sex toys, all that good stuff, using the promo code Magenta. Grab that.
Would you pull that out like on a date? Like so Shawty came around like, hey, look what I got.
Look, I'm trying to figure out what the etiquette is on these, because it's a vibrator, but it's also an air pulse thing, so similar to the Rose toy shit. And I'm like, I feel like long-term partner, cool, no problem. You have the conversation, go, hey, how do you feel about this thing? But some of the freaks in our comment section in our Discord was like, nah, I would just throw that bitch in the washing machine and use it on with a different woman. And I'm like, maybe I don't know what the etiquette is. Like, can you introduce sex toys with a casual partner? That I do not have clarity on. We are talking to Caitlin V in a couple of weeks on this, so I'll ask her as well, but I don't know what the etiquette is there, honestly.
I've been told multiple times no.
Yeah.
They look at me crazy.
Multiple times is crazy. Wait, so you would be like, you sure? Or like, yeah.
I didn't realize, what I was saying. That did sound like I whipped it out like on actual people.
Okay.
But no, like I had like this Rose toy like from my ex. I had when I bought it, I used with her. We use it like one time, like literally once. And I'm like, shit, I done spent all this damn money. We done broke up. I'm like, can I? I'm like, well, what's the ethics on this? Like, would that be weird?
Yeah.
Many people say, yeah, you should just throw that away. Don't do it. Just throw it.
But are the people who said that freaks?
Huh? I mean,
meaning like, is sex toys part of their rotation? Are these people who are like, yeah, cock rings, vibrators? Are they the right people for the conversation?
I mean, some of them have some toys. And, some are just like men who like, hey, well, nah, brother, I don't know if you want to do that one. So,
What's the chat saying?
Give me another.
New toys for new relationships. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Because what do studs do? Because I feel like a stud is not going out and buying a new fucking Hitachi wand every goddamn time she gets into a new moving truck contract. Like, come on.
I mean, any
reusing that shit. Reduce, reuse, recycle.
Yeah, any lesbian, like, what I'm saying, they not buying new toys for everybody, for every new body. But I think it's again like the dynamic is different because we're men. We're seen as filthy. We're seen as nasty. Even the fact that I said, "Hey, I cleaned it," they looked at me crazy.
How would you feel if okay, because this is the question. If she used the same egg toy on you that she used with another partner, but she definitely boiled it, you know what I'm saying? Like she like with a Diva Cup type levels of cleaning.
What's the egg toy?
It's like just for clarity, a pocket pussy.
Oh man, I mean she ain't I'm not using that anyway. Just give me your real pussy.
Okay, well now we've fucked up the whole. You get them like work with me, brother. I'm trying to let's land this together. Come on, co-pilot with me.
All right, I mean let's say a cock ring.
Okay, yeah, there we go.
Maybe I might have some questions.
I feel like a cock ring. If you reuse the cock ring on me that you used with the last guy, I don't mind. That's fine. That's totally. That's fine to me. That's whatever. I think. I think I'm cool with that. Wash it, obviously, but
yeah, I don't think I want a lot of mileage on it though. That would be like that would be my limit. Yeah.
Is mileage number of men or number of or units of time? Is it like number of fucks or number of partners?
Ooh, I think both. But especially like number of men. Anal bees.
Yeah.
Some person that's but yeah, either way. Yeah. Maybe like if she was like, hey, if it was a similar situation like me, like, hey, I only used it once, and then like we broke up. It's been hard pressed bull, like it's clean. I promise you. You can have it if you want to. I'll take it, or we can use it.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. Like, yo, this motherfucker done seen some battles. This is battle tested, purple
battle
heart
worn. Yeah, the medal of freedom is what this clit sucker is doing. Yeah, you know what I'm realizing? I feel like the toy belongs to whose genitals it interacts with. That might be what's happening here. Because if my girl, if I'm talking to a new woman, I'm dealing with a new woman, is casual or we're figuring it out or whatever, we're just fucking on each other a bit, enjoying one another, and she's like, she pulls out her sex toy. I've had that happen plenty of times. She's got a dildo, she's got a vibrator, she's got a whatever. I want you to use this on me. Cool. I'm like, cool. That belongs to your pussy. This is your one. Yes, other men have definitely 100% used this on you. I feel like I have no issue with that for the most part.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I feel like that's fine. You can have the same toy be used on you by multiple partners. Is maybe what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if I have a cock ring, I can absolutely use that with multiple different women. But if I'm or no, or have I overextended the metaphor?
Right, because I mean, hell, it's my cock ring.
It's my cock ring.
But
but it's bumped up against a whole bunch of different pussies. So what's the
yeah, that's different. That actually is a little different. But I don't think they would have a problem with it. Like I think you said, like I think it kind of more so goes, it belongs to whose genitals it's been on. But the cock ring has been on both genitals.
I mean, no, it's been against one genital. It hasn't been because a vibrator, like even this one, like the way I've used it is like I'm holding it like this. I'm here. You know what I'm saying? So it's like kind of touch me. You know what I mean? So,
but you know, I mean, that's different. You know,
how so?
I mean, like you just holding the thing. You know what I mean? Like you're right here, boom, 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 boom. Cock ring, like that's getting all up in there with you. You know what I'm saying? Like
I feel like that's the same thing. Like it's lit. Like the back of this is touching my mons pubis in the exact same way that a cock ring would be. And to be fair, pussies are just more. It's a lot more going on. You know what I'm saying? Like if you touch a dick, nobody can really tell. You touch a pussy, everybody knows.
What I'm getting at is, it's like with the cock ring. I might be doing some mental gymnastics, but I feel like the cock ring is more vagina to like this cock ring has been on someone else's vagina. Now I'm taking my cock ring on your vagina. That thing, if multiple men are using it, we just holding the same thing. Like we're not actually like, cross genital overlapping. We just holding it with our hands. But the cock ring, that's like vagina, 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 vagina. If that makes sense, or if that makes any difference.
Oh no! All right, I see what you're saying. You're saying because the back of this is only touching one man.
It's only touching, on the back. It's only touching like the hand, like you're holding it, like each man.
But I'm saying this part is touching my intimate areas.
That's for you.
Bit. Like, it's not for me, but I'm saying, bro, have you put a dick in a vagina before?
Because I don't know.
Because I feel like you're not responding to what I said because I mentioned and you keep so like, okay, hold on. So like if a woman is here, right? She's like clit is this direction, her head is this way, head is faced up this way. I'm here, her clit is there, well lower, but her clit is there, my dick is there inside. The back of this is pressed against my body.
Oh, you getting down like that. You advanced techniques. Okay.
Right. So now are we on the same page of like this is kind of touching an area that you wouldn't want to lick, you know what I'm saying? Unless you did want to. But that a person broadly would not.
I mean, I wouldn't lick
unless
back.
They did. Even if it was clean. Fair point.
Yeah. I mean, what the hell? I mean, you got to be a real freaking motherfucker to just be licking on a sex toy. Like, like one of those, like a rose toy.
I mean,
as a man. But then again, you got your girl.
You know what I'm saying? This it's like a caviar spoon. You know what I mean? A little, like, I don't. I have to disagree with you respectfully on that one, brother. I'm sorry.
You do when you play DJ.
I smoke it like a crack pipe after.
But anyway, sorry.
That's okay. It's okay. All right. Well, look, we'll figure it out in the future. In the meantime, thank you everybody for coming through. This has been Waving the Red Flag. We appreciate y'all. It's normal.com. Magenta 15% off. Peace, everybody. Yeah.